we'll be where we want to be.
That was a very deferential Daniel Vogelbach after a huge day from him. 3 hits and 3 runs. Alek Manoah pitched incredibly for the Blue Jays, and they won 5-2 over the Tampa Bay Rays. Now Toronto looking to build some momentum here on Victoria Day. Welcome back to Rogers Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. And Chris, this is a stretch of the schedule that Blue Jays fans have had circled all year. It's White Sox, Tigers, White Sox, Pirates, and you can't take anyone lightly. The Blue Jays have to go out and take care of business coming up.
Well, I think the biggest thing is taking care of business against this Chicago White Sox team. You heard Daniel Vogelbach say, let's go 1-0 every single game. I know that's a little bit cheesy, a little bit cliche, but it's true. You just take it day by day, and you hope that in this next stretch of games, which is Chicago White Sox for 3, Detroit for 4, Chicago White Sox for 3, and then Pittsburgh for 3, you come out with maybe a 9-4 record. I don't want to get ahead of myself there, but if the Blue Jays take care of business and they pitch well, I think people are forgetting that the Pittsburgh Pirates have 3 very good starters that they could potentially come up against. I haven't looked that far ahead. I know that you might have, but they have 3 very good starters, and if this offense doesn't really show any signs of life, they're going to be in tough against the Pirates.
You could say the same about the 2 guys that the Blue Jays will see to start this White Sox series, and Eric Fetty today and Garrett Crochet tomorrow. Before we get into more of this game, though, let's take a look at the Bet365 standings as the Blue Jays march on the field. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19+, play responsibly, Ontario only. The Yankees 33-15 atop the division. Baltimore 29-15 right behind them. The Rays are 25-23. The Red Sox 23-24, and the Blue Jays 20-25, 3.5 out of a playoff spot right now. And on the other side, the White Sox last in the AL Central at 14-33, the worst record in Major League Baseball. Blue Jays warming up. Chris, who's in the lineup starting with Pedro Grifol's Chicago White Sox team?
Well, leading off for the Chicago White Sox and playing center field is Tommy Pham. Andrew Vaughn will bat second and play first base. In right field, batting third is Gavin Sheets. Batting in the cleanup spot and DHing is Eloy Jimenez. Andrew Benintendi will bat fifth and play left field. Playing short and hitting sixth is Paul DeYoung. Behind the plate is Corey Lee. He'll bat seventh. Nicky Lopez will bat eighth and play second base. And hitting ninth is Danny Mendick. He'll play third. On the mound with a 4-0 record is righty Eric Fetty. And for the Toronto Blue Jays, leading off and playing second base is Davis Schneider. Behind the dish is Danny Jansen. He'll bat second. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. will bat third and play first base. Bo Bichette is hitting in the cleanup spot and playing shortstop. DHing and batting fifth is Justin Turner. George Springer will hit sixth and play right field. Dalton Varsho will bat seventh and play left. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa will hit eighth. He'll play third. And Kevin Kiermaier will bat ninth. He'll be in center field. On the mound is Jose Berrios.
10th start of the season for Berrios, a 4-3 record and a 2.82 ERA for the right-hander. His warm-up pitches are done. He's drawing in the dirt behind the rubber as the right-handed hitter Tommy Pham steps in for the White Sox. Big crowd today on Victoria Day. Beautiful day in downtown Toronto as well. Berrios stretching his arms behind his head, steps on the rubber. Pham steps in the box. The right-hander looks beyond third. Kicks, delivers home, and the first pitch is a fastball outside, 1-0. First pitch today at 3:07 Eastern, 25 degrees in downtown Toronto, 77 Fahrenheit, and the 1-0. Fouled off, 1-1. Sun pouring over the field right now, just kind of a semicircle of shade going from the left center field gap to the right center field gap. But Kevin Kiermaier standing in the sun in center, just in front of it. The 1-1. Fouled away, 1-2. Tommy Pham is on quite a roll for the White Sox right now, added mid-year, batting .333, 6 doubles, 2 homers, 10 RBIs. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Got him on the slurve. 1 down.
That's a good start for Jose Berrios. A good slider down and away there to a hot hitter in Tommy Pham. He is He's one of the lone bright spots in this White Sox lineup. Good start to Jose Berrios' day right there.
Yeah, the toughest test for Berrios so far taken down. Here's Andrew Vaughn, first baseman for the White Sox. Stands in the righty box in the pitch. In there, strike one. Vaughn batting .202 this year, 9 doubles, 3 homers, 15 driven in. 0-1. Slurve in there for strike 2. Jose Berrios is going after these guys to start the game. Right-hander sets. Glove at the belt. Reaches back, delivers. And the slurve missed downstairs. Vaughn lays off, 1-2.
I can almost guarantee that his game plan is no messing around. The Chicago White Sox are 30th in team batting average and 30th in homers.
1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him on a low sinker. Back-to-back strikeouts for Berrios.
Yeah, you can tell that he's not messing around. He's throwing strikes early and often, and especially against this Chicago White Sox team that doesn't really hit all that much. You have to throw strikes. You can't give them opportunities to get guys on base.
Well, I hate to pile on to the White Sox, but not just 30th in average in home runs, also on base, slugging, runs per game. Here's the first pitch to Gavin Sheets, and it's low, ball 1.
Well, you hate to pile on, but you just did it.
I did. Blue Jays are 29th in runs scored, although almost a full run per game separated from the White Sox. 1-0 to the left-handed hitter Sheets. Outside, ball 2. No, called a strike by home plate umpire C.B. Buckner. Dan Iasonia, the crew chief, at first. Adam Beck at second, and Ben May at third. No score, 2 outs, space is empty, top of the first. Berrios delivers to Sheets. Swing and a miss. Pulled the string on him with the change. It's 1-2.
A great changeup right there. Good arm speed, good finish. That thing looked like a fastball out of the hands, and then he just pulled the string on it.
Berrios has struck out 2 already. The righty's 1-2 pitch. Just a hair low. Ball 2.
I'm surprised Gavin Sheets didn't try to swing at that thing. That was executed to perfection. Started at the bottom of that strike zone and then just dipped right out of it. He might have been fooled.
2-2. Off the end of the bat, headed toward us. It'll go under our feet. New baseball for Berrios here in the first inning, which is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong. Feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. Sheets, the right fielder, facing a 2-2 count with 2 outs. The pitch. Swing and a broken bat, flare to left. Varsho started back, now comes in and makes the catch to end the 1-2-3 top of the first. 2 strikeouts for Berrios. It'll be Davis Schneider, Danny Jansen, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. when we return. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
When Blue Jays left-hander Yusei Kikuchi strikes a batter out, fans get to witness the Kikuchi K-Strut. What is the K-Strut? It's an arms-flailing, feet-kicking, fist-pumping, head-spinning, energy-recoiling, absolutely electric strikeout celebration that, well, you just gotta see it.
He's something else, man. Swing and a miss.
On Wednesday, May 22nd, strut down to the ballpark. The first 15,000 fans get a Yusei Kikuchi bobblehead. What do you say? Find your seats at BlueJays.com.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
A game-tying blast from Bo Bichette.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. We're here at Rogers Center in the bottom of the first. Eric Fetty on the mound for the White Sox. His pitch to Davis Schneider. Down and away, ball one. No score as Fetty, the right-hander, makes his 10th start of the season. Really impressive year. 4-0 with a 2.60 ERA. 1-0. Foul tipped. 1 ball and 1 strike. The 6'4" right-hander Eric Fetty was a first-rounder by the Nationals out of UNLV, Nevada, Las Vegas in 2014. 1-1. Schneider hits it foul 1 and 2. But had a up and down career with the Nationals from 2017 to 2022. And ended up not having an offer to play in the majors last season. 1-2. Fouled off. Went to Korea, pitched for the NC Dinos, and won 20 games with a flat 2 ERA, 209 strikeouts in just over 180 pitches, or innings. 1-2 pitch. Schneider hits it to right field, and Gavin Sheets runs it down in right center. 1 down. Fetty would go on to win the KBO equivalent of the Cy Young, the Choi Dong-Hwan Award, and KBO MVP as a pitcher, winning the Triple Crown with wins, ERA, and strikeouts. Returned to Major League Baseball this year on a 2-year, $15 million deal, and it's gone well so far for the White Sox. Here's Danny Jansen. Right on right pitch. High, ball 1.
I mean, this is a guy that was 6-13 with a 5.81 ERA in 27 games started. That's not a small sample size.
1-0. Lifted down the right field line. This could be trouble. Sheets sprinting toward the foul line, reaches out and makes the play. Long run for Gavin Sheets, and he steals a bloop from Jansen. 2 down.
He has completely reinvented himself, going from a guy that nobody wanted in 2023 to signing a 2-year, $15 million contract out of Korea. When I was researching what he was doing and why he missed that 2023, I was genuinely curious to watch his game today and see how he's different than he was in 2021, 2022. I mean, so far he's looked pretty good.
First pitch to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is a fastball for strike 1. 2 outs and the bases empty. Bottom of the first, no score. The pitch mix has changed a lot for Fetty since going overseas. 0-1 pitch is low. 1 ball and 1 strike. For Fetty, he ditched a curveball and a traditional changeup from 2022. Now he throws a sweeper and a splitter. 1-1. Swinging a bouncing ball to short. Picked up by Paul DeYoung, the former Blue Jay, throws over to first and ends the inning. 1-2-3, the Blue Jays go down to Eric Fetty in the bottom of the first. No score after 1. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hello, I'm James Corden, and I'm so thrilled for you to hear my show, This Life of Mine. Join me every week for incredible conversations from the biggest stars.
I'm Kim Kardashian.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Renner.
I'm Sienna Miller.
I'm Martin Scorsese.
I'm Julianne Moore.
I'm Tom Ford.
I'm Kris Jenner.
I'm Odell Beckham Jr.
Welcome.
Welcome to
This Life of Mine.
With me, James Corden. You can listen on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on Stars Channel 109, or listen on the SiriusXM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues. Right now on Channel 87.
It's a home run for Ronald Acuna.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to daily fantasy playoff basketball to reacting to the NFL draft, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are on top of the women's college basketball world yet again.
Perfection for South Carolina. 38 games, 38 wins.
We're reacting to the perfect season and talking to the biggest names right here on Channel 374.
Congratulations, Coach Saley. What does this particular title mean to you?
This title is pretty special because it was unexpected.
Keep it locked into SiriusXM SEC Radio as we continue to break it all down and celebrate the Gamecocks' third national title.
Hey, baseball fans, the NBA postseason is in full swing, and your home for nonstop discussion every day and playoff action on the court every night is SiriusXM NBA Radio Channel 86 and on the brand new SiriusXM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
The second inning is presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet live in-game on props, totals, and the money line. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Scoreless game, Eloy Jimenez leads off for the White Sox, and Jose Berrios' first pitch is at the knees for strike one. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, Show Otley, our host and producer, Luke Swadron and Tom Young, our technical directors. Jimenez with an open stance right side, the 0-1. Hit on the ground up the middle and through into center field for a bouncing base hit. First base runner of the game goes to the White Sox. Jimenez on first and nobody out.
And Eloy Jimenez does have 3 stolen bases this season. He's not fast, but he's definitely not slow. You have to keep an eye on him over there.
The White Sox do steal a handful of bases. They've stolen 29 this year, 3 more than the Blue Jays. Infield protecting against the bunt. IKF creeping in against Andrew Benintendi. Left-handed hitter backs out of the way of a first pitch slurve, 1-0. Nobody out and a runner on first. No score, top of the second. The longtime Red Sox, also Royal and Yankee, Andrew Benintendi, in his second season with the White Sox. 1-0. Bounce right back to Berrios. Turns, throws to Bichette for one, and the toss over to first in time for a 1-6-3 double play. Flashing that gold glove again, Jose Berrios gets 2 outs.
Such an easy play for Jose Berrios. A lot of the time, pitchers will try to be too quick and rush the throw to second base, but Jose Berrios, so smooth, turns the body so slowly, makes a nice throw to the chest of Bo Bichette. What a play. He's so good with that glove.
Bichette took his time, too, took a couple steps toward first before throwing over. 2 down, here's Paul DeJong, the shortstop. Right on right pitch is high, ball 1. DeJong, briefly a Blue Jay last season in his first year with the White Sox, hitting .230 with 6 homers and 12 RBIs. (1-0). Fouled over the screen. 1 ball and 1 strike. Blue Jays acquired DeJong last year right at the final hour of the trade deadline. Bo Bichette went down the day before the deadline. 1-1. On a line up the middle and hit into center field. Paul DeJong comes up with a single in Toronto. He's aboard with 2 down.
Good piece of hitting right there. And Paul DeJong isn't having a terrible season. .230 with 6 homers. Blue Jays wished he was that guy last season.
Struggled with the Blue Jays after they traded minor league pitcher Matt Swanson over to get DeJong. Ended up going 3 for 44 as a Blue Jay and was released after 3 weeks. DeJong leads off first, 2 outs. Corey Lee, the catcher, up. And the pitch. Breaking ball is just outside, ball 1. DeJong can run a little bit too. He's stolen a base this year. Takes a 2.5 step lead off first. Now takes an extra half step to make it a full 3. 1-0. DeJong takes off. Swing and a miss. Throw down to second. Sails into center field. But it goes right to Kiermaier, who was watching it there. That'll be a stolen base for DeJong. He remains at second. And there are 2 outs.
Well, as soon as Danny Jansen threw that baseball, he turned to C.B. Buckner and asked him a question. I'm sure he's wondering if Corey Lee was in his throwing path. And I haven't seen a replay yet. I'll take a look at it right now. But, yeah, he might have been. He took a step over the plate.
I think, though, what they'll say is it was in the follow-through of his swing.
Yeah, it wasn't intentional.
Lee is the catcher on the other side for the White Sox. Runner on second. Pitch was a strike, so it's 1-1. Here's the pitch. Fastball in there, strike 2. Definitely looked like it impacted the throw, though.
Oh, definitely. That throw tailed quite a bit, and you could tell that Danny Jansen kind of cut it off so he didn't hit Corey Lee crossing over home plate.
Lee, a .292 hitter this year for the White Sox. Faces a 1-2. Off the end of the bat, a looper headed to center. That's trouble. That's down for a base hit. Fielded by Kiermaier, who bobbles it on the transfer. DeYoung around third. He'll come in to score. RBI single, Corey Lee, and the White Sox are out to a 1-0 lead.
And the thing that I'm noticing early on with Jose Berrios is he's throwing good sliders, but he's throwing a lot of them away. A lot of pitches have been away. You have to establish the inside part of the plate, especially to lineups like this, and he hasn't really done that yet. So the White Sox are always looking on the outside part of the plate, and they're able to just stick the bat out and get soft contact like that, one that just landed right in front of Kevin Kiermaier in center field.
3 hits this inning for the White Sox. First pitch to Nicky Lopez, bounced through the right side, a base hit into right field. Heading around second and going for third is Lee. Springer's throw goes back into second. Make that 4 singles this inning for the White Sox, who have runners on the corners with 2 outs.
That one right there, again, was supposed to be on the outside part of the plate. Kind of leaked over the middle, but that's just a fastball right there that was right over the middle.
Almost looked like it clipped the base runner Lee, but he danced out of the way. So after the Lopez single, here's the number 9 hitter, Danny Mendick. 1-0 White Sox, 2 outs, top of the second. Berrios turned a double play after a leadoff single, but has given up 3 straight hits. First pitch to Mendick. Outside against the right-handed hitter, 1-0. Mendick, a .224 batter with a homer and 3 RBIs in 13 games this year. 1-0. Off the fists, a pop-up right side foul and into the seats.
And that fastball right there was in off the plate. It was a good sinker. Danny Jansen was set up in off the plate, and now that opens up the outside part of the plate. He hasn't done that much today, but we'll see what the swing is like from Mendick here.
Berrios in the set, looks at third, peeks at first, turns, throws over to first, and a dive back safe from Nicky Lopez. Lopez can run, but he has not been efficient stealing bases this year. He's stolen 2 and been caught 4 times. Shade coming over the field from left to right. Berrios is 1-1. Lopez takes off from first. Pitches a strike. Throw down to second. Runner coming to the plate. Schneider throws back to Jansen. They got him! Corey Lee trying to sneak home on the first to third play, and Schneider delivers a strike to Jansen to get him and end the inning. White Sox do score a run on 4 hits, leave 1 on, and lead 1-0. Middle of the second. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Which Looney Dogger are you? The fork and knifer, splatterer, condiment queen, or Big Dipper? This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneiders. You will have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the stadium. Then show the world your Looney Dog style. Because whether you're the mustard maven or ketchup king, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. So don't miss out on this deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneiders, every Tuesday home game.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're two men in a truck.
Two men and a truck, the movers who care.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Varsho smashes the ball to right field. It's gone!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Exciting news, Blue Jays fans. Our very own Hazel May will be calling to congratulate the winner of this 50-50 jackpot. The grand prize is over $310,000, and it could be yours in just 3 days. If you're in Ontario or Nova Scotia, head to bluejays.com/5050 to get your tickets. 1-0 White Sox, bottom of the second. Eric Fetty's pitch to Bo Bichette is hitting the air down the left field line, hooking toward the seats, and that ball is down in fair territory. A slide by the left fielder Benintendi. It's beyond him, and Bichette will walk into second with an awkward leadoff double.
Well, Bo Bichette didn't even think that ball either was going to be fair, or he thought that was an easy catch from Benintendi down that left field line. He didn't run at all out of the box. I was surprised. But because that ball gets away from Benintendi down the line, he's able to get a double out of it. But I was surprised that Bo Bichette not even running out of the box. He obviously thought that ball wasn't going to be fair.
Gets to second anyway, though, and the Blue Jays need that after giving up a run in the top of the second on a Corey Lee single. First pitch to Justin Turner, called strike one. And for Bichette, too, a break after he went 0 for 11 in the last series against Tampa Bay. Gets a hit to start this series against the White Sox, his 7th double of the year. Turner facing an 0-1 count, the pitch. Grounded to short. Bichette takes off for third. DeYoung will go over to first for the easy out. So Turner advances the runner, but is retired. And now Bichette on third with one down.
If I'm the Blue Jays, I take that right there. A good piece of base running from Bo Bichette. That ball was hit pretty slowly up the middle, closer to second base on the shortstop side. So as a base runner, if that ball's hit behind you, you take off to third base, and Bo Bichette does a good job right there.
That'll draw the White Sox infield in as George Springer comes up. RBIs in back-to-back games. First pitch, down and away, ball one. With his double yesterday that drove in Daniel Vogelbach, George Springer jumped over the Mendoza line. He's hitting .201 this year. 6 doubles, 3 homers. Next pitch, grounded foul. Bichette bounces out of the way, 1-1. One nothing White Sox, one out, bottom of the second. Bo Bichette on third and George Springer at the plate. Eric Fetty steps off the mound and asks for a new baseball. .64 right-hander stands tall, kicks and delivers. Springer lifts it behind second, sprinting in Pham, and he'll make the catch in very shallow center. Bichette dekes but does not go. The throw's cut off, and there are 2 down. Bo Bichette couldn't go anywhere.
That's a tough break right there for the Toronto Blue Jays. With the infield in, you want to at least give Bo Bichette a chance to tag right there and come home, but that fly ball was probably about 30 feet from second base, maybe 40 feet from second base. Didn't really give Bo a chance to tag and come home there.
It was kind of a hung sweeper, but Springer got under it. Now 2 down, the infield back. Runner on third, the pitch to Dalton Varsho is fouled straight back, 0-1. Varsho back in the number 7 spot today with Danny Jansen up to number 2. Left fielder sitting .206 this year with a team leading 7 homers and 21 RBIs. 0-1. Downstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. Bo Bichette leading off third in foul territory. Talking with Carlos Fablis, the third base coach. 1-1 is lifted to right center field and deep. Sheets going back, turns, out of here. Dalton Varsho with his 8th home run of this season, a near 400-foot blast, and the Blue Jays jump in front 2-1.
Well, that was the split finger from Fetty. It actually wasn't a bad pitch down in the zone. But Dalton Varsho goes down and gets it and golfs it out of here over the fence in right center. A good piece of hitting from Dalton Varsho and a big couple of runs for this Blue Jays offense.
First pitch to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, called strike one. See, who needs a sac fly when you can just hit the ball out of the yard? Yeah, you're right. That pitch was low of the zone by probably a full baseball. Next pitch to IKF, up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two outs and the base is empty. 2-1 Toronto, the 1-1. Line foul to the right and into the 200 level seats. 1-2.
And Varsho wasn't expecting that thing to get out of here. He was busting it out of the box. He was thinking double.
Warming up in Toronto, maybe the Airs carrying the ball a bit more. 1-2, swing and a miss. Strike 3. IKF goes down, but the Blue Jays jump on top. Dalton Varsho's 2-run homer makes it 2-1 Toronto after 2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
Hey, this is Tim Meza. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the 3rd inning at a sunny Rogers Center in downtown Toronto. It's 2-1 Blue Jays over the White Sox. Appreciate you spending your day off work with us. Here I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. First pitch to Danny Mendick from Jose Berrios, who's hit deep to right field. Springer backing up, stops in front of the track, and makes the catch. 1 out. This 3rd inning is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Nicolet and Trois-Rivières, Quebec. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. Top of the order for the White Sox. Tommy Pham gets a second chance. He struck out to start this ball game. 1 out, base is empty, and Berrios' pitch. Fastball outside, 1-0.
Tommy Pham is a guy that loves to get the arms extended and hit the ball into the gap. He uses the big part of the field very, very well. So you have to bust him in with something hard at some point during this at-bat.
1-0 slurve is in there to even up the count at 1-1. It's kind of shocking a guy with his pedigree went unsigned throughout the offseason. Was looking for a major league deal and didn't get one. 1-1. Swing and a miss at the slurve, 1-2.
There's some question marks surrounding Tommy Pham. He's had some run-ins with some different players over the years. I don't want to get too much into that, but I think we all know the question marks surrounding Tommy Pham.
1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Down on the slurve, 3 straight from Berrios. And there are 2 down.
And Tommy Pham shaking his head, walking slowly back to that dugout. That was another good slider from Jose Berrios. You almost think that he was thinking something hard in and just flailing at that slider.
Reverse psychology maybe from Berrios. 2 outs now. Here's Andrew Vaughn, who also struck out in the first. Right on right pitch. Breaking ball in there for strike one. He's really leaning on it right now. Andrew Vaughn's coming off a good year, although he's still getting in the swing of things, batting just over 200. 0-1. Bounce to third. Picked up by IKF on 2 hops. The throw to first is there in time. And Vaughn's retired. 1-2-3 for Berrios in the top of the third. Blue Jays go back to the bats, up 2-1 on the White Sox, middle of the third inning. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Don't miss a moment of baseball season with MLB Network Radio, including daily interviews with the decision makers from across the league on Sirius XM Channel 89.
Dodgers manager Dave Roberts.
Looking forward to talking some baseball.
It's Managers at the Mic on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89. And if you miss any of our Manager at the Mic interviews throughout the week, you can find them on the all-new Sirius XM app. Search MLB.
I always love talking baseball with you guys.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your Sirius XM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on Sirius XM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. Sirius XM Sports. We're more than just a game.
Each night after the horn sounds, NBA Radio has you covered with the best analysis of all the games.
When healthy, they check a lot of boxes.
We'll break down the playoff action.
Tatum saw it coming, picked it up, drives in, and throws it down with 2 hands.
And take you inside the locker room to hear from the players and coaches.
It seemed like we had a lot of guys that were getting banged up, but we were able to get the job done.
Hear the NBA Radio Playoffs postgame show every night throughout the postseason on NBA Radio Channel 86 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is Sirius XM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the third inning at Rogers Center. Bottom of the order for the Blue Jays. Kevin Kiermaier leads off for Toronto against Eric Fetty. First pitch is bounced up the middle. That's trouble. That's through into center field for a base hit. Kiermaier chugs for second on the play. Throw coming in. Not in time. On a bouncer up the middle, Kevin Kiermaier catches Tommy Pham sleeping, and it'll be a leadoff double for the Blue Jays center fielder.
That was just a simple, slow roller right up the middle, and Kevin Kiermaier busting it out of the box. What a good job of taking the extra base. When your team is struggling to score runs, you need that, especially from a guy like Kevin Kiermaier.
Blue Jays looking to build on their bottom of the second, where they scored 2 to take the lead. It was a Varsho home run. First pitch to Davis Schneider, low and away, ball 1. Kiermaier on second, nobody out. 2-1 Blue Jays, bottom of the third. Schneider with a fly out to right so far. The 1-0 is hit in the air. Left field. Benintendi backing up to the track. Makes the catch. Kiermaier tags. Looking to advance. The throw from Benintendi bounces in late. And Kevin Kiermaier moves up 90 feet to third.
It is hard to advance to third base on a fly ball to left field, but Kevin Kiermaier is one of the few guys that can do it. And he does it to perfection right there. Sliding head first into third base and taking the extra bag. That's a big extra base right there.
Benintendi's a former Gold Glover. He's not a slouch to try and run on in left field. Infield in for the White Sox. 1 out, runner on third. Danny Jansen up. Fetty's pitch. Hit in the air, right center, deep. Sheets going back, Pham as well, and it bounces off the wall. Kiermaier in to score. Jansen up to second with an RBI double. 3-1 Blue Jays on the second double of the inning and the 4th extra base hit so far for Toronto today.
Danny Jansen doing such a good job just peppering that wall out there in right field. That pitch was away and he hit it to right field. Perfect approach right there. Kevin Kiermaier scores.
9th double of the season for Danny Jansen. The Blue Jays broke Eric Fetty's 13-inning scoreless streak in the second, and now they've added on, scoring back-to-back innings against the White Sox right-hander. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. up. Runner on second, one out. First pitch. Popped him up, right side, slicing toward the seats, and that'll get fouled down the right field line, 0-1. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth, encouraging you to step up for the home team and shop local. Timber Mart stores are family-owned and operated and know the value in giving back to the communities they serve. Now more than ever, it's important to shop local. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, 3-1 Blue Jays. With one out, the 0-1. Guerrero takes downstairs to even up the count at 1-1. Vlad grounded out to short to end the first inning. Faces a 1-1. Takes it down and in, 2 balls and 1 strike. As has been well documented, though, Guerrero on a tear, batting .400 over his last 18 games. And even though there haven't been that many homers, he has a slugging percentage of .500 in that stretch. He grounds the 2-1 foul to make it 2-2.
And like I've said a few times, he's hitting the ball on a line. If he was getting a lot of ground ball hits or even weak contact, then I would question why there's no power. But eventually the home runs will come. You just have to be patient.
2 games ago in the 5-4 loss to Tampa Bay, Guerrero hit 3 different balls 110 miles an hour or harder for just the 6th time in his career. 2-2. Check swing on a pitch down and away. Appeal down to first. No swing, says Dan Iasonia. It's a full count.
And I don't know who was yelling. I'm assuming that was Guerrero.
Eileen Vlad.
He makes calls on his own.
Jansen leading off second. Peeks behind him at the second baseman, Nicky Lopez. And now toward Eric Fetty, the pitcher, who looks at Jansen, looks to the plate, delivers. Fouled back into the screen. Center cut fastball from Fetty, and Guerrero just missed it.
I'm actually surprised that he threw him that fastball right down the middle. They have an open base at first base. I know Bo's coming up next, but Vlad's probably the last guy I'd want to throw a fastball to right here.
20 RBIs this year. The 3-2 is a line shot to right center field, a base hit. Jansen around third. He'll score easily. Guerrero loses his helmet around first, heads back to the bag in a scramble. It's 4-1 Toronto on Vladdy's RBI single, and he looks at the dugout, twirling his finger. He wants him to keep it going.
And again, I'm surprised at the pitch selection. Yes, Vlad might miss 1 fastball center cut, but he's not going to miss 2. He drills that fastball into right field. Danny Jansen scores another run for the Blue Jays.
That'll bring pitching coach Ethan Katz out of the dugout right now. Blue Jays have strung 3 hits together in 4 batters and scored 2 this inning to take a 4-1 lead. Eric Fetty, who's been dominant so far this year, has not experienced this very often. Infield on the mound as well, along with the catcher Corey Lee.
What do we have for exit velo on that?
On that
single?
110.2 miles an hour.
I'm actually disappointed. I thought that might be 112, 113, somewhere around there. But that was a rocket off the bat of Vlad.
Mound meeting breaks up with C.B. Buckner heading out there, and now Bo Bichette stepping into the box. 4-1 Blue Jays, bottom of the 3rd. 1 out, and Guerrero leading off first. He's getting his sliding glove on right now, or his sliding batting gloves, and the first pitch to Bichette is cut on and missed, strike 1. So Guerrero has the new gloves on and now has the sliding mitten over top of it, and he'll lead off first. From the stretch, Fetty delivers, and Bichette swings and misses at a sweeper down and away, 0-2. Bo with an excuse me double down the left field line in the second, came around to score on Dalton Varsho's home run. Fetty steps off. Now the right-hander's set. His 0-2. Slice down the right field line, foul into the netting just beyond the camera well. beside the first base dugout. Bichette fighting off an inside pitch. He struggled against pitches on the inner half this year, batting 103 against inside pitches. Has gone the other way well, though. 0-2. Smacked up the middle and past the dive of the second baseman Lopez into center. That one hopped the mound and landed on the outfield turf. It's a hard hit single for Bo Bichette. Guerrero up to second, and a fourth hit of the inning for the Blue Jays.
Another 0-2 fastball right over the heart of the plate, and Bo drills it back up the middle right past Fetty. I'm surprised at the pitch selection. Corey Lee was actually set up down the middle.
Fetty has gotten both Vlad and Bo to 2 strikes, but gave up hits to both of them. First pitch to Justin Turner, down and away, ball 1. Turner batting .230, looking to snap in 0 for 26. One out and 2 runners on. The 1-0. Fouled back into the netting. Blue Jays have 4 hits this inning, 2 doubles and 2 runs. They're up 4-1. Fetty's 1-1 pitch. Rolled softly to short, picked up by DeYoung. Flips to second for 1. Over to first, double play. That will end the inning. The Blue Jays scored 2, though, after Kiermaier and Jansen doubles, Vlad and Bo with singles, and it's 4-1 Toronto at the end of 3. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Don't miss a moment of baseball season with MLB Network Radio, including daily interviews with the decision makers from across the league on Sirius XM Channel 89.
Dodgers manager Dave Roberts.
Looking forward to talking some baseball.
It's Managers at the Mic on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89. And if you miss any of our Manager at the Mic interviews throughout the week, you can find them on the all-new Sirius XM app. Search MLB.
I always love talking baseball with you guys.
Hey, baseball fans, the NBA postseason is in full swing, and your home for nonstop discussion every day and playoff action on the court every night is Sirius XM NBA Radio Channel 86 and on the brand new Sirius XM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues. Right now on Channel 87.
It's a home run for Ronald Acuna.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to daily fantasy playoff basketball to reacting to the NFL draft, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Wake up! Wake up, everybody! This is Steve Phillips from the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and former Major League Baseball players Eduardo Perez and Xavier Scruggs as we react to all the latest news and scores across baseball and have plenty of fun along the way.
Steve, you were so right about that.
I don't know if anybody else thinks we're funny, but I think we're funny.
Why are you putting us or we into this?
The leadoff spot, weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the Sirius XM app.
Radio Network.
The fourth inning is presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. Top of the fourth at Rogers Center, 4-1 for the Blue Jays over the White Sox. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host and producer, Luke Swadron and Tom Young, our technical directors. 3-4-5 for the White Sox here in the fourth inning. Gavin Sheets, the left-handed hitter, will lead off. Berrios produced a flyout from Sheets in the first. Here's his pitch. Called strike 1. That fastball at 94 from Berrios, which is about where it usually is. Although today he's been a little bit below his averages, more 92, 93. 0-1. Slurve misses low. 1 ball, 1 strike. What you had noticed, Chris, though, is the break on the slurve seems to be a little bit more exaggerated today. 1-1. Foul tipped, strike 2.
Yeah, the breaking ball is a little bit more Has a little bit more downward action to it, a little bigger, a little bit less like a slider, more like a slurve.
3 strikeouts for Berrios today. His 1-2. Slurve hit foul.
Maybe he's learned a bit from Kevin Gossman. Slower in the first couple of innings, and then he builds up to 94, 95, 96 later on in the ballgame.
Add extra pitches to your repertoire by throwing different miles an hour. 1-2. Fouled back. Berrios has cutter, sinker, slurve, changeup. Really leaned on his changeup in his last start against a lot of lefties for the Orioles. Right on left pitch here to Sheets. And it's a cue shot foul. That was a changeup left high, and Sheets was way out in front of it. 1-2 still.
Danny Jansen again trying to fake out everybody in the ballpark. The target was elevated up out of the strike zone. And of course you don't want to throw a changeup there. You want to throw that thing down in the strike zone, and I think he did elevate it.
1-2. Fouled off again. Sheets, the hitter, is a second-generation Major League Baseball player. His dad, Larry Sheets, was a second-rounder by the Orioles in 1978. Played with Baltimore in the mid to late 80s, Tigers in 1990, and briefly with Seattle in 93. 1-2. Inside. Speaking of, we'll look at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard coming up after Sheets hits. White Sox right fielder leads off the fourth. 4-1 Blue Jays. Bases empty. Nobody out. Berrios is 2-2. Smoke to right field on a line. Springer dives. It bounces past him and rolls toward the track. Sheets around first. He'll head into second with a double. George Springer gambles on that one, and it bounces just ahead of him. So the White Sox have a leadoff runner in scoring position, and let's look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Devilishly good since Toronto first raised the trophy in '92. Join them for wings, ribs, beer, cocktails, and catch every play at your local St. Louis Bar and Grill. Download the app or visit stlouiswings.com for more details. Always devilishly good. First, the score here in Toronto, 4-1 Blue Jays over White Sox, but a runner on second and no outs. Pitch to Eloy Jimenez. Broken bat bouncer to short. Picked up by Bichette. Sheets retreats to second, and the throw to first in time. One down. I think a shard of the bat flipped into the air and landed in front of the plate. Jimenez retired, and let's take a look at the only game that has been played so far today. Not necessarily celebrating Victoria Day in Atlanta, but they have a doubleheader, so the Padres and Braves have already completed Game 1, and it was a wild one. Braves went up 5-0 on the Padres in the first 3 innings. Marcelo Zuna and Matt Olson going back-to-back. And then the Padres scored 6 unanswered runs, including 4 in the 8th, to win 6-5. 2 RBIs for Cronenworth, Machado, and Merrill. Here's the pitch to Andrew Benintendi with a runner on second and 1 out. Called strike 1. Former White Sox Dylan Cease was the starter for the Padres today on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Turning to throw to second, Sheets is back standing. Blue Jays did pick a runner off second in Kevin Gausman's start 2 games ago. Berrios in the set. A look at second. The kick and offering. Bounce on the ground to second. Picked up by Schneider. He'll toss out Andrew Benintendi up to third base Gavin Sheets, and there are now 2 down.
That was probably the best changeup of the day from Jose Berrios. A lot of downward movement to it. About 10 miles an hour slower than his fastball. That's what you want to see. Good arm speed. And Andrew Benintendi was way out in front of it.
Yeah, apologies if you heard the frustration of Benintendi as he
I heard it.
He made his opinion known about that one. He's down now, and Paul DeYoung is up, the former Blue Jay. Runner on third, 2 outs. The pitch. Fouled back, 0-1. You mentioned last time up, DeYoung's having a pretty good year. Came up with a hit in his first at-bat to go to 236. He's hit for a fair amount of power, so his on-base plus slugging is an above-average 720. 0-1. Grounded foul, 0-2. DeYoung's certainly a guy who's had success in his major league career. Had a lot of success very young. Was an all-star in 2019 with 30 homers and 31 doubles. Debuted in 2017 and ended up making that all-star game in 2019. 0-2. Lined up the middle, a base hit into center field. Sheets comes home on Paul DeYoung's RBI single, and it's 4-2.
Well, that was just a fastball right down the middle. I think Danny Jansen was set up on the inside part of the plate, but yeah, Danny Jansen was on the, sorry, that was a changeup actually, right down the middle. They tried to go in with that changeup, and he left it right over the middle. Paul DeYoung drills that baseball into center field.
2-hit day for the White Sox shortstop. 2 down. Here's Corey Lee. First pitch is called low, borderline. It's 1-0. 4-2 Blue Jays, top of the fourth. Paul DeYoung on first base. With 2 outs, the 1-0 to Corey Lee. Fouled back, 1-1. The extra bases there for Gavin Sheets really came back to bite the Blue Jays on that hit. Rather than a single, he got a double as that bounce past Springer on the dive. Perhaps one of the 2 ground balls up the middle would have been a double play, or maybe he wouldn't have been able to score on that hit. 1-1. Sliced foul, 1-2. I mean, you don't hate the gamble. You have to dive to make diving catches. What do you think?
I was going to say I don't really dislike the aggressive nature of the play. I think that George Springer has shown in his career that he can make that play, and watching the replay, he missed that ball by a hair.
You're going to get dunked on sometimes if you go up for the blocks. 1-2 pitch. Down and away with the slurve, and Lee lays off. 2-2. DeYoung stolen a base so far today, his second of the year. He's leading off first. With 2 outs, Berrios kicks and delivers home. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him on that changeup, down and in, but Paul DeYoung's single knocks in Sheets after a double, and the White Sox inch closer. It's 4-2 Blue Jays, middle of the fourth. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You could bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays, and with all kinds of cool new games and activities in the exciting outfield district areas, there's no end to the family fun you'll have.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Pitch to Kevin Biggio is rocked to right field. That ball is gone.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, Show Ali, our host and producer, Tom Young and Luke Swadron, our technical directors. Bottom of the fourth inning, 4-2 Blue Jays. George Springer leads off against Eric Fetty. And the first pitch. Called strike one. Springer hit a fly ball to center field his first time up. He's 0 for 1. The 0-1. Fouled off, rolling toward and into the first base dugout. 0-2. For Springer, he has RBIs in back-to-back games for the first time since the first two games of the year. He'll lay off a 1-2 breaking ball outside, 1-2. And both of those instances came against the Tampa Bay Rays. 1-2. High, 2 balls and 2 strikes. On deck for Toronto is Dalton Varsho, who hit a 2-run homer. And after him, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. 2-2. Reaches out and spoils it foul to the right. Not the start for Eric Fetty that the White Sox envisioned so far. 4 runs given up in 2 innings. He's allowed 6 hits, and his 2-2 pitch is inside to Springer, full count.
Good take there from George Springer on a fastball just off the plate inside. He's having better at-bats recently.
A double and 2 walks yesterday, scored twice. 3-2. Reaches out and rolls over a ball to third. Picked up by Mendick. The throw to first beats Springer by a step and a half. 1 down. Here comes Dalton Varsho, who got the Blue Jays on the board today. With Toronto down 1-0 and a runner on third, 2 outs in the second. Varsho powered a ball over the wall in right center field for his 8th home run of the year, and now up to a team-leading 23 RBIs. First pitch from Fetty. Called strike one. Varsho, one of the guys on the Blue Jays who saw Fetty a little bit when the right-hander was a national. Next pitch is high, 1-1. Varsho then a Diamondback, and in his career now, 3 for 5 against Eric Fetty with 2 homers and 2 walks. 1-1. Off the fists, a pop-up foul, third base side. Mendick with a long run makes the catch just before the side warning track, and there are 2 outs.
Good pitch right there from Fetty. A cutter in on the hands. It's kind of Varsho's kryptonite right there. A cutter or fastball in on the hands. Can't really get the hands through that quickly to get that pitch, and he hits a little weak pop-up in foul territory in on the hands.
So with 2 outs, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa tries to extend the inning. A .252 hitter who's 0 for 1. First pitch, in there, strike one. You'll rarely see IKF swing at the first pitch. Only does it about 15% of the time. Top 10 in the majors. 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. .4-2 Blue Jays, bottom of the 4th. Fetty winds and offers. Pop up in the middle of the diamond by Kiner-Falefa, caught at second by Nicky Lopez, and that's a 1-2-3 frame for Eric Fetty. We'll head to the 5th with the Blue Jays up 4-2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, it's Billie Eilish. I feel like specifically with this album, hit me hard and soft. It's just enjoying the making of it. The new album, Hit Me Hard and Soft, just arrived. And I love making music. Billie Eilish Radio is here for a limited time. Channel 3, exclusively on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app.
The Busted Open podcast is now available on YouTube. This is Dave LaGreca, host of Busted Open, the #1 pro wrestling show on the planet. You can now watch and listen to the award-winning Busted Open podcast every single day on YouTube. Our best interviews, behind-the-scenes access, and some of our best content from the past. All available right now when you go to youtube.com/@BustedOpenPodcast. Subscribe right now.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball. You love yelling at your buddies about baseball because they love baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, and much, much, much more. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win whichever fantasy sport you play. Right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The fifth inning is brought to you by Desjardins Insurance, helping Canadians through it all. Desjardins Insurance, insurance with a heart so big, it shows. 4-2 Blue Jays, top of the fifth. Left-handed hitting Nicky Lopez leads off. And Jose Berrios' first pitch is fouled off 0-1. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left, Chris LaRue. Nicky Lopez came up with a single in the second inning off Jose Berrios. Jumped his average from 195 to 202. Hunched over in his stance, twirling the bat. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Pulled the string on him masterfully. He was way out in front of the change.
Nasty right there. Looked like a fastball out of the hands. The most important thing when throwing a changeup.
Berrios' two-strike pitch. Downstairs with another change, 1-2.
You can see just how impressed Danny Jansen was with that changeup. He points out at Jose Berrios after catching that baseball. He really has the feel for that changeup.
Next pitch. Hit in the air down the left field line and foul. Jansen again pumping his glove out to Berrios. That time it was a fastball above the zone.
Well, he did hit his spot there. Elevated fastball up out of the strike zone, but Lopez does a good job just staying alive, fighting it off.
Lopez has good numbers against Berrios' career. 9 for 19. 1-2. Inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. They would have seen each other a fair amount when Lopez was with Kansas City, who he played for most of his career, and Berrios with Minnesota and then with the Blue Jays. The 2-2. Inside again, ball 3. On deck is the 9-hitter Danny Mendick. Nicky Lopez leading off the top of the fifth. 4-2 Toronto. Berrios' payoff pitch. Line to left field, down for a base hit. 2 for 2 day for Nicky Lopez, and the 7th White Sox hit already.
Yeah, such a good piece of hitting right there from Nicky Lopez. Fastball on the outside part of the plate. Just doesn't try to do too much with it. Just sticks the bat out and hits it in the left field. That's a good 2-strike approach right there.
So runner on first to lead off the fifth, and the pitch to Danny Mendick. Inside, ball 1. Berrios doesn't love it, but it did look to be just a fraction of an inch maybe off the plate. White Sox average 8 hits a game. They have 7 here with no outs in the top of the fifth. 1-0. High, ball 2. And that one again, borderline, right on the shadows of the zone. But not terrible calls from C.B. Buckner behind the plate.
Yeah, Jose Berrios was kind of motioning. Is that ball out? Is that ball up?
Turn and a throw to first. Lopez dives back in safe. The runner, Nicky Lopez, was leaning toward the second base bag and has a stolen base today. White Sox tried to put on a first and third steal play in the second. Lopez stole second, but the Blue Jays threw out Corey Lee trying to go to the plate from third. 2-0. Fouled back.
And if you're the Blue Jays, you have to expect the Chicago White Sox, because of their offensive numbers, to try to do something, try to get somebody in motion, try to put pressure on the defense. I wouldn't be surprised if Nicky Lopez tries to take off during this at-bat.
3 stolen bases this year, 4 caught stealings. 2-1. In there with the slurve for strike 2. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, the 2 teams that the Blue Jays are trying to catch in the division, the Red Sox and Rays, start a series tonight in St. Petersburg. Tanner Houck faces off with Taj Bradley. 2-2. Fouled off.
Somebody's got to lose.
Somebody does have to lose. Now someone has to win also.
Oh, that's true.
Somebody's got to lose. Blue Jays 2 games back of Boston, 3.5 back of the Rays. 3.5 back of the playoffs right now, though it's a little early to look at the wild card standings. Runner on first, no outs, and the 2-2. Bounce foul left side. Mendick putting up a battle here right after Lopez also did to start this 5th.
Yeah, Mendick putting up a good battle here. Jose Berrios throwing some tough pitches. That changeup there was a tough pitch on the inside part of the plate, and Mendick just fights to see another pitch.
Berrios leaning forward toward Jansen, now sets and looks at first. The 2-2 again. Fouled off again.
That fastball there was 96.3 miles per hour, his hardest fastball of the day.
Is that kind of a get out of here fastball? Like, I just don't want to face you anymore, so I'll put a little extra on it?
No, it's later in the ballgame, so
All
he's
right.
throwing harder now.
Like Justin Verlander. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him leaning on a slurve down and away. 5th strikeout of the day for Berrios.
Perfectly executed. Looked like a strike all the way, and just slides out of the strike zone at the last second. Mendick just waves at it.
So here's Tommy Pham, 0 for 2 with a pair of swinging strikeouts, both on slurves. Runner on first, 1 out, and the pitch. Down and away with the slurve, ball 1. It's 4-2 Blue Jays in the top of the 5th. White Sox have scored once in the second and once in the 4th off Berrios, who's pitched with runners on for much of this game. A peek at Lopez at first, who's leaning, and the 1-0. Called strike. Good sinker on the outside corner, bottom of the zone. Deep breath from Berrios. Sun shining down on him. His shadow behind him toward first base. 1-1. Grounded to third. Picked up by IKF. Throw to second for 1. Schneider sidearms to first. Inning-ending double play. 5-4-3. The Blue Jays turn it and erase the leadoff single from Lopez. 4-2 Toronto, middle of the 5th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The 2024 WNBA season has arrived.
Ionescu wide open, connects.
We're getting you ready on NBA Radio.
Number 1 overall pick, Caitlin Clark.
Couldn't imagine a better place to start my professional career.
Brianna Stewart. I'm motivated to individually be better and help do something special in New York.
Hear our 2024 WNBA season preview show with Holly Rowe anytime on the all-new SiriusXM app. Just search WNBA.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
It's a home run for Ronald Acuna.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to daily fantasy playoff basketball to reacting to the NFL draft, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track. Sunday.
5 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Coca-Cola 600 from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Checker fly, baby. Yeah! On Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new Sirius XM app. Yeah! Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the Sirius XM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yeah!
Hey, baseball fans, the NBA postseason is in full swing, and your home for nonstop discussion every day and playoff action on the court every night is Sirius XM NBA Radio Channel 86 and on the brand new Sirius XM app.
Set Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue at Rogers Center, 4-2 Blue Jays as we start the bottom of the fifth. Eric Fetty's first pitch to Kevin Kiermaier is inside, ball one. Kiermaier with a double in the third inning came around to score. 1-0. Low 2-0. There have been some signs that things are turning for Kiermaier, who struggled out of the gates. Coming into today, he was batting .316 in May. 2-0 pitch he takes all the way for strike one. Now, it is worth noting that that .316 is only 8 games and 6 starts because he both came off the injured list at one point and dealt with the viral illness. 2-1. Kiermaier loops it to first, caught by Vaughn, 1 out. Let's take a look at the injury report, brought to you by Bergmanis Prira Personal Injury Lawyers. If life has thrown you a curveball and you're striking out with your insurance company, get ahead of the count and call Bergmanis Prira Personal Injury Lawyers. You focus on getting better, and Bergmanis Prira will take care of the rest. Visit bplawyers.ca. First, the pitch to Davis Schneider with 1 out and the bases empty. Swing and a miss, strike one.
Tell me something good.
So the Blue Jays, first of all, got good rehab appearances this weekend. 0-1 inside, 1-1. If you weren't with us either the last 2 days, 2 scoreless innings from Bowden Francis on Saturday, 1 from Chad Green on Sunday. The 1-1. Check swing, liner foul, 1-2. Bisons and all of minor league baseball is off today. They don't play on Mondays. So no one going today, but tomorrow Yariel Rodriguez will start for the Buffalo Bisons, make his rehab appearance, and on Wednesday, Green and Francis will both pitch in relief for the Bisons. 1-2. Fastball just low. Tough take from Schneider, 2-2.
Best case scenario, Yariel Rodriguez pitches well in his rehab outings. Alek Manoah is still pitching well in Major League Baseball. What happens with Yariel Rodriguez?
I think reliever. 2-2. Fouled off. Still 2-2.
So you don't think they keep him in Buffalo as a depth piece for the starting rotation?
I think that they potentially value more stability in the bullpen right now. 2-2. Loop to center. Pham starts in, stops, starts again, makes the catch. 2 outs.
I agree.
It's just, they have had some struggles in the pen so far this year. And John Schneider did comment on this pretty recently. They said they still want to build him up for a couple innings, said Schneider, whether it's building back to 85, 90 pitches or seeing how the first couple outings go. But did mention that he could be an effective leverage reliever, maybe a multi-inning reliever, as Danny Jansen takes strike one. 2 outs and the bases empty. 4-2 Blue Jays, bottom of the fifth. 0-1 offering. Chano takes high. 1 ball, 1 strike. But a best case scenario as well, John Schneider said that hopefully this is the last rehab for Green and Francis. 1-1. Outside, 2-1.
The Blue Jays bullpen obviously badly needs Chad Green, and they could use Bowden Francis, a serviceable long guy.
Haven't had a true long man since Francis went down. Back in the San Diego series was the last time he pitched. 2-1, check swing, called strike, 2-2. That San Diego series, that was like April 21st to 23rd. It has been a while. 2-2. Rolled over to third. Backhanded on 2 hops by Mendick. Throw to first beats Jansen and ends the inning. 7 in a row retired by Eric Fetty, but his team still trails 4-2. The Blue Jays on top after 5. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
The hardest work should lead to the best quality of life. If you're a skilled trades worker, you might not be feeling that way right now. But in Alberta, skilled trades workers can earn more, save more, and live more with better wages and a lower cost of living. Visit albertaiscalling.ca to learn more about the $5,000 moving bonus for the first 2,000 skilled trades workers who move to Alberta, stay for a year, and successfully apply. A message from the Government of Alberta.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Next pitch, Moniak takes off. It's low a ball, throw down to second. They got him!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The 6th inning is brought to you by Desjardins Insurance, helping Canadians through it all. Desjardins Insurance, insurance with a heart so big, it shows. 4-2 Blue Jays, Jose Berrios on the mound. Up here in the booth at Rogers Center, I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Berrios has dealt with some trouble in the first 5 innings. He scattered 7 hits but allowed just 2 runs, and after turning a double play to end the 5th, sits on 74 pitches to start the 6th. Leadoff hitter is Andrew Vaughn, 0 for 2, a strikeout and a groundout. Berrios' pitch. Slurve in there, 0-1.
I'm sure John Schneider is hoping that they can squeeze 2 more innings out of Jose Berrios.
No activity in the bullpen yet. The 0-1, down and away. For Andrew Vaughn, spelt like the suburb of Toronto, except no second A near the end. He was the 3rd overall pick in 2019 out of Cal Berkeley. 1-1. Bounce back to the mound. Nice stop by Berrios on the backhand side. A throw to Guerrero. There's 1 out. Few do it better than Jose Berrios fielding his position.
No, that was a tough one, too. Kind of handcuffed him. Does a little dance and then throws it to first.
Little skip and throw from Berrios, who was fired up. Now he faces Gavin Sheets, right fielder.
He's from Puerto Rico. He's probably a good dancer.
Better than us. First pitch to Sheets. Popped up. Left side foul. Jansen giving it a look. And it's out of play, 0-1. Sheets, another White Sox draft pick like Vaughn, a 2nd rounder in 2017 out of Wake Forest. 0-1. Down low. Sheets actually got his first opportunity in the majors in 2021 because Andrew Vaughn hit the COVID list in early June. Came up but did not play and went back down. 1-1. Low 2-1. He'd come back up again a couple weeks later, though. And on July 19th of his rookie season, so like 2-3 weeks in, he hit his first walk-off, a 3-run homer off then Minnesota Twin, Jose Berrios. Berrios is 2-1 to Sheets. Check swing, pitch was low, appeal to third, no swing, says Ben May. and it's a 3-ball, 1-strike count.
When I first got called up, I hadn't pitched, I think, in like 3 days. And we had a team dinner, and Dan Ugla looked at me and he said, "You haven't pitched yet. You're not allowed to be here."
Oh, my goodness. You left?
And I didn't leave. That was a joke, but
3-1 is down and in, ball 4.
So I feel his pain getting called up and not playing. It's such a weird feeling.
Well, Ugla's kind of a scary guy, I feel like.
Yeah.
He was like big, not tall, but
stocky,
like big.
very
Yeah.
stocky man. But yes, if Dan Ugla tells you that you're not allowed to be at a dinner,
I'm getting out of there.
You leave, yes.
Runner on first after the first walk of the game for either side. 1 out, and Eloy Jimenez is up. First pitch. Called strike 1. Jimenez 1 for 2 with a single up the middle and a ground ball to short. Sheets on first, hasn't stolen a base yet this year. Berrios peeks at him, delivers home. Swing and a miss. Got Jimenez to way expand the zone on a slurve, 0-2. White Sox DH steps out of the box and back in. 2 taps of the plate, stands on the toes of his front left foot in an open stance. 0-2. Driven to center, pretty deep. Kiermaier going back, leaps, makes the catch on the track, bangs into the wall. Sheets retreats to first. A beautiful play from Kevin Kiermaier in deep right center.
Well, rule number 1, when you throw a good slider or a good off-speed pitch, that next pitch better not be worse. And that one right there was just a hanger over the middle of the plate. And Eloy Jimenez gives it a ride. Luckily, he's got Kevin Kiermaier out there in center field.
Jose Berrios gets the ball back, but decides he'll flip it out for a new one. And now 2 down and Andrew Benintendi up. World Series champion with the Red Sox in 2018. The first pitch. Benintendi shows bunt, pulls back, 1-0. 4-2 Blue Jays, top of the 6th. Runner on first and 2 outs. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, the Seattle Mariners visit the New York Yankees tonight. Great pitching matchup. Logan Gilbert against Marcus Stroman in the Bronx. Out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. The next pitch to Benintendi, the former Yankee, is called strike 1.
I bet there's nobody that's more excited to pitch in New York than Marcus Stroman.
It's gone pretty well for him so far, too. I mean, Stroman has a 3-2 record and a 3.33 ERA.
He is probably enjoying baseball right now. Got to be a little bit excited for him, though.
1-1. High, ball 2. An incredibly popular Toronto Blue Jay. And Stroman had some success in his last stint in New York with the Mets, but it didn't always at least seem from the outside like that was the best fit. Goes to the Cubs pitch as well, and now back in the AL East and back in New York with the Yankees. 2-1 to Benintendi. Called strike with a changeup. Berrios gets a break there from C.B. Buckner. That pitch was outside, and it's 2-2.
Well, no, Benintendi just dropped his bat and walks about 3 or 4 steps out of the batter's box, mumbling underneath his breath. That was definitely a ball.
And it's been a struggle already for Benintendi. He was 0 for 2 today, batting 193 on the year. 2 outs, runner on first. The 2-2 pitch. Inside, ball 3. With a full count and 2 outs, Guerrero no longer holding on the runner's sheet, so we'll get a head start on the pitch. First baseman for the Blue Jays plays behind him. 3-2 pitch. Foul tipped into the glove, strike 3. Got him on a changeup. Benintendi tosses away the bat in frustration. 6 innings so far for Jose Berrios, and he keeps the Blue Jays on top 4-2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
In the 90s, prom was the bomb. And Prom Radio is back on Sirius XM with all the 90s party anthems, line dances,
and cringeworthy slow songs.
You're like a dream come true, and I don't want to miss a thing.
Prom Radio, now for a limited time on Channel 105 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are on top of the women's college basketball world yet again.
Perfection for South Carolina. 38 games, 38 wins.
We're reacting to the perfect season and talking to the biggest names right here on Channel 374.
Congratulations, Coach Saley. What does this particular title mean to you?
This title is pretty special because it was unexpected.
Keep it locked into SiriusXM SEC Radio as we continue to break it all down and celebrate the Gamecocks' third national title.
It's PGA Championship Week on SiriusXM, and you can hear all the action on PGA Championship Radio.
Brooks Koepka is the winner of the 105th PGA Championship.
We have coverage from Valhalla Golf Club with analysis, player interviews, and play-by-play coverage.
Scotty Scheffler just makes an eagle at the 8.
Hear the 2024 PGA Championship on PGA Championship Radio, Channel 92 when you're in the car, and on the SiriusXM app.
In season or out of season, the number one place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Radio Network.
Make Tuesdays the most fun night of the week with Looney Dog Nights presented by Schneider's. Head down to the ballpark tomorrow and load up on $1 hot dogs all night long. Visit BlueJays.com/Looney Dogs and purchase your tickets today. First pitch of the bottom of the sixth is delivered outside, 1-0. Blue Jays up 4-2 on the Chicago White Sox. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at the plate and the starter Eric Fetty into the wind. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike one. Guerrero's 1 for 2 today with an RBI single in the third. 1-1. Downstairs. That's the last run Fetty has given up, though. And only one base runner since that Vladdy RBI single. He's retired 7 in a row. 2-1. High and tight. Guerrero ducks out of the way, and the fans voice their displeasure.
Well, he's about to get a good one right here. Ahead in the count, 3-1, nobody out. You don't want to walk the first guy you face. Vlad better gear up for this one.
A 2 for 2 Bo Bichette waits on deck. Fetty turns back, fires. Breaking ball at the bottom of the zone. Strike two. Pretty good 3-1 pitch.
Yeah, that's a pretty good pitch right there.
Guerrero will ask for time. Back into the box now, batting from the right side. 2 taps of the plate, and the bat bounces just above his right shoulder. 3-2. Down and away, ball 4. Vladdy tosses the bat back through his legs and takes first base to lead off the bottom of the sixth.
Good take from Vlad. A lot of the time he gets too antsy, too excited to swing at a 3-1 pitch or a 3-2 pitch, and he swings at that slider off the plate, well off the plate, and he takes it right there. Good take from Vlad starting this inning.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. That's Chris LaRue. I'm Ben Schulman. Blue Jays up 4-2 on the White Sox. No outs, runner on first. Bottom of the sixth, and the pitch to Bo Bichette is called strike one. Bichette with a double in the second and a single in the third has scored a run today as well. Next pitch is jacked to left center field, and that will split Benintendi and Pham down in the gap and bouncing into the wall. A helmetless Guerrero tears around third. Relay to the plate is late on a head-first dive by Vladdy. An RBI double for Bichette. 5-2 Blue Jays.
That is a beautiful thing, seeing Vlad rumbling around third base. Carbos Fabulous waving him home. I thought he would hold him at third, especially with no outs, but that hair flowing, him rumbling around third base, and then Superman diving into home plate.
Guerrero like a starfish on the dirt after that dive. He comes in to score. Bo Bichette has 3 hits and now 2 doubles today, 8 doubles on the year. He's on second with nobody out. 5-2 Blue Jays. The pitch to Justin Turner, called strike one.
Would you rather watch Alek Manoah going really, really well or Vlad?
Can I have both?
No, you can only have one.
I picked Daniel Vogelbach.
That's a good one, too.
0-1. Swing and a fly ball, left center. Benintendi ranging over to the gap, makes the catch. Bichette tagging, he wants to advance, and he will. Bo wasn't tagging initially, but broke back to the bag. So the White Sox appeal. Nicky Lopez steps on second, but Adam Beck, the second base ump, says he was back to tag. So Bichette advances 90 feet to third with one out.
That's a great tag from Bo Bichette. That fly ball took Benintendi towards center field. And at the last second, Bo hustles back to second base and then quickly tags to third, advancing to third. And with nobody out, you're not supposed to advance. But Bo with the high baseball IQ right there.
Mound meeting from the infield and the catcher. No coaches or manager on the field. And now that'll break up before George Springer hits. Good opportunity here for George to come up with RBIs in 3 straight games. Bo Bichette's on third. There's one out. The infield does play in. 5-2 Toronto, bottom 6. Pitch from Fetty. Bounce to the right side. Bichette starts, but now stops as it's picked up by the first baseman, Vaughn, who goes to the bag and steps on it. 2 down. In the right field bullpen, former Blue Jay Dominic Leone is getting loose right now. Leone activated off the injured list today. Eric Fetty, though, remains in the game, trying to complete 6 innings. He's given up 5 runs, including 1 in this frame. Bo Bichette, who knocked in the run with a double, is on third. 2 outs, the pitch to Dalton Varsho. High ball 1. This was pretty much the exact situation that Varsho hit his homer in the second. Fetty sets at the belt, looks at Bichette and the plate, the 1-0. Varsho hits it foul on the ground, first base side, 1-1. Perhaps a return to the 7 spot, helpful for Varsho. Coming into today, he was hitting .286 in the 7 spot in 9 games with 4 homers. And on the season, he was hitting .206. Had cooled off a bit when the Blue Jays bumped him up. 1-1. Swing and a miss at a high fastball. 1-2.
Well, I think there's just less pressure on him. A lot like Bo when he was moved down in the order to 6th. There's just less pressure to do so much, carry the offense.
1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Another elevated fastball, and Varsho goes down to end the 6th inning. The Blue Jays add a run, though, after the Vladdy walk. A double from Bichette. 1 left on. It's 5-2 Blue Jays through 6. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
When Blue Jays left-hander Yusei Kikuchi strikes a batter out, fans get to witness the Kikuchi K-Strut. What is the K-Strut? It's an arms-flailing, feet-kicking, fist-pumping, head-spinning, energy-recoiling, absolutely electric strikeout celebration that, well, you just gotta see it.
He's something else, man.
On Wednesday, May 22nd, strut down to the ballpark. The first 15,000 fans get a Yusei Kikuchi bobblehead. What do you say? Find your seats at BlueJays.com.
Bring excitement to your landscape with Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better. So they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs in the distinctive white container at your local garden center or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm
Hey, this is Kevin Kiermaier. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Every day I'm hustling.
Top the 7th inning in downtown Toronto. Blue Jays up 5-2 on the Chicago White Sox. Jose Berrios, the Toronto starter, remains on the rubber. Here's his pitch to Paul DeJong. Outside, ball 1. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left, Chris LaRue. Luke Schwadron and Tom Young, our technical directors. Show Ali, our host and producer. DeJong 2 for 2 today with a run and an RBI. 1-0. Lifted to right center field. That sends Kiermaier on the run. Looking up. That ball's gone. Paul DeJong homers against the Blue Jays and makes it a 5-3 game.
Well, in Paul DeJong's first 2 at-bats, he hit 2 mistakes, but that pitch right there, not a terrible pitch, just a slider on the outside part of the plate, and Paul DeJong drills it to the gap over that wall in right center. That is not a bad pitch right there.
It's a good day for DeJong against his former team. He has really driven the White Sox offense so far. Here's Corey Lee, called strike 1. So it's 5-3 now, top of the 7th. Nobody on and nobody out. And that home run has kick-started the Blue Jays bullpen. Jimmy Garcia warming, the 0-1. Low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Jose Berrios trying to complete 7 innings for the 4th time this season. Has recorded an out in the 7th 4 different times, completed it 3 different times. 1-1. Called strike 2. Pitch count for the Blue Jays right-hander at 96. Corey Lee asks for time, steps out of the box. Right-handed hitting catcher back in. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI single and a strikeout. 1-2 pitch. Check swing on a slurve low. Did not go around. It's 2-2. Berrios takes a breath in the set. Reaches back and fires. And it's fouled off. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, Game 7 is tonight. The Edmonton Oilers take on the Vancouver Canucks, and the winner moves on to the conference final to take on the Dallas Stars. 2-2. High heater just missed. Full count.
Where is that game?
Vancouver.
In Vancouver. Ooh, I bet that city is alive.
Oh, yeah. Canucks were up 3-2 in the series, but Edmonton won Game 6 to keep it going. 3-2. Fastball, low, ball 4. Berrios' second walk of the day. And you wonder how much longer he goes as...
Well, Berrios was yelling in at CB Buckner, and now Pete Walker and John Schneider are saying something to CB Buckner, but here comes John Schneider.
Schneider is going to lift Berrios here to try and limit the damage. A home run this inning has made it 5-3, and a runner on brings the tying run to the plate for the White Sox with no outs and the 7th. Jimmy Garcia about to enter the game. Applause for Berrios. Let's go back to baseball control. Here's our host today, Show Ali.
Thanks, guys. And before we check that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, don't forget we do have Jays Talk this afternoon. Blair and Barker are back. The boys are in studio. They will be on both TV and radio. The back leg line is open right now, 416-413-3959. You'll hear the voice of Kevin Barker instructing you to leave your name and location, please. You can also send them a text, 590-590, name and location, and we'll get your text put up on TV. All right, let's check that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Let's check out the Stanley Cup playoffs. You heard Ben and Chris talking about it. One more game to go, one way or another. Tonight in the second round, Canucks-Oilers Game 7. Puck drop is at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. At Rogers Arena, some updates about both teams. Brock Besser not expected to be available for the rest of the season after developing a blood clot. He has been placed on blood thinning medication, but will not play again this postseason. Lafferty Mikheyev will replace Besser. Podkolzin, and a net. The Canucks will get Arturs Silovs. On the Oilers side, no Adam Henrique tonight. He remains out. Either way, we will find out which remaining Canadian team moves on to the Western Conference Finals. 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific again on Sportsnet and the CBC. Listen to it on Sportsnet 650 on the radio. Canuck Central has also got you covered pre- and post-game. As always, winner of this series moves on to play the Dallas Stars. Game 1 of Stars versus Canada's only remaining team will be on Thursday, May 23rd at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. Game 1 will be in Dallas no matter what. Before then, we'll get Game 1 of the East Finals. Panthers-Rangers Game 1 will go Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. Puck drop goes Wednesday at Madison Square Garden. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back down to the Rogers Center. Jimmy Garcia on the mound. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. Jimmy Garcia enters this game trying to keep the Blue Jays in front. It's 5-3 Toronto. A run in this inning and a runner on first. Garcia deals with Nicky Lopez. First pitch. Breaking ball outside, 1-0. The right-hander's making his 18th appearance of the season, has a stellar 0.5 earned run average so far this year in 18 innings. (1-0). Called strike.
He has been so good all season long at just dotting that outside corner with that slider.
Lee, the runner on first, has swiped 2 bags this year. 1-1. Fastball high and outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Garcia last pitched 2 days ago against Tampa Bay. Walked a batter, but did strike out 1 in a scoreless inning. He kicks and delivers. Line foul to the right side, 2-2.
This has to be a tough AB for Nicky Lopez. The shadow is kind of almost on the pitcher's mound on the dirt there, but Jimmy Garcia is throwing out of the shadow into the sun.
2-2. High and outside. A changeup sailed there by Garcia. Full count. Part of the reason that the Blue Jays went to Garcia here, other than the pitch count of Berrios, Lopez 2 for 2 off Berrios today, and 10 for 20 career now. 3-2. Swing and a miss. 95 on the outside edge. 1 down.
Well, Garcia was nibbling just a little bit prior to that pitch, but that was a good sinker. Started down the middle and just fades away. So much movement on that pitch. Nicky Lopez swings right through it.
So the infield will go to double play depth with Leon first and 1 out. They play straight up against Danny Mendick. First pitch swinging, fouled off. 0-1. 5-3 Blue Jays, top of the 7th inning. Jose Berrios done. It looks like Eric Fetty's probably done as well. Dominic Leone was warming up last inning. Jordan Leisure warming up in the White Sox pen this inning. 0-1. Loop to right field. Springer starts back, moves toward the foul line, makes the catch. 2 outs, and Lee will have to hold at first.
Springer fighting that sun over there. You can see him shading his eyes, wearing the sunglasses. Tough play, but makes it look so easy.
The sun's going across the field from third to first base. You can see shadows now streaking, like you mentioned, from third over the mound, a building covering from shallow left center to right center. Springer, the only outfielder still in sunlight. Tommy Pham up with 2 outs and a runner on first. First pitch. Fastball in there. 97 from Garcia, strike 1. Pham's had a tough day, 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a ground ball into a double play. 0-1, runner takes off from first, pitches a strike, throw down to second on a hop, bounces into center field. Schneider might have deked Lee with a fake tag there. Lee never got up to look for third, but it will be a stolen base for Corey Lee nonetheless.
Yeah, smart play from Davis Schneider. You don't want him going to third. I think if he takes off there right away, he probably gets into third without a throw. Maybe not. Kevin Kiermaier so quick at getting that baseball.
On second look, I think Lee knew it went into center. It actually hit his helmet. 0-2. Down and away with a breaking ball. Just kind of skimmed off the helmet of Lee, it appeared, who's in scoring position. Tying run at the plate for the White Sox. 5-3 Blue Jays with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. 1-2 to Pham. Popped up out of play off to the right.
That pitch right there is not the pitch you want to throw 1-2 to Tommy Pham. That was just a spinning slider right down the middle. Tommy Pham just missed it. Probably wants that pitch back.
Pham, a part of the Diamondbacks' run to the World Series last year, acquired midseason from the Mets. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Elevated the heater at 98, and he gets Pham to end the inning. Jimmy Garcia comes on and stops the offense for the White Sox. They do get a run on the Paul DeJong homer, though. It's 5-3 Blue Jays at the 7th inning stretch. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart deferred payment program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
I am by your side. Got a heart so big. On this you can rely. No mountains too tall for the strong boots to climb. I am by your side.
That was Desjardins Insurance, playing insurance with a heart so big it shows. Tune in for your auto and home coverage at desjardins.com/heart.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Fastball cracked to center field. To the wall, to the track. It's gone.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Mark your calendars for this Wednesday because it's your chance to walk away with an exclusive bobblehead. Be one of the first 15,000 fans to the ballpark, and you could receive the Yusei Kikuchi bobblehead giveaway. To purchase your tickets and add this bobblehead to your collection, go to bluejays.com/bobbleheads. It's Jordan Romano replica jersey day here at the ballpark on Victoria Day. 68s all around, and the Blue Jays up 5-3 in the bottom of the 7th. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa leads off against Dominic Leone, first reliever for the White Sox today. 5-3 Toronto in the pitch. Called strike 1. Leone's a 5'10 right-hander from Norwich, Connecticut. 0-1. Kiner-Falefa pops it up. Right side, first baseman Vaughn in the sun makes the catch in fair territory, 1 out.
Dominic Leone is usually a pretty solid reliever. He has been for a number of years, but this year he has a 6.75 ERA in 17 games. But the most alarming thing for me is he's walked 11 guys in just 14 2/3 innings.
Leone returning today off the injured list with lower back tightness. A former Blue Jay faces Kevin Kiermaier with 1 out. First pitch is high and tight, 1-0. Leone was a Blue Jay in 2017 and a very good one. 65 appearances, 2.5 ERA. 1-0, swing and a miss, 1-1. Had a whip just over 1, was not allowing a ton of base runners, and threw a career-high 70 innings for the Blue Jays in that season. Right-hander sets with his glove near his chin. The 1-1. Kiermaier swings and misses. 96 over the heart of the plate. 1-2.
Yeah, from the looks of it, he still has the good stuff. He still has a good arm. 95, 96. It's probably just the command that he's lost just a little bit.
With one out, the 1-2. High, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Changeup is an important pitch for Leone. He's thrown it more than any other pitch this year, especially against left-handed hitters like Kiermaier, but throws a lot of four-seamers and sliders too. Will mix in a cutter. 2-2. Foul tipped into the glove, strike 3, 96 in on the hands, and Leone has 2 quick outs to start the bottom of the 7th.
Well, didn't really hit his spot there, but still an effective pitch in on the hands of Kevin Kiermaier. Swings right underneath it.
So that brings up the top of the order. Davis Schneider, who's 0 for 3, a trio of flyouts, 1 to each outfielder for the White Sox today. 5-3 Blue Jays in the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Leone's entrance spells the end of the day for Eric Fetty, who went 6 innings, gave up 7 hits and 5 runs, walked 1, struck out 2. Oh, 1. Bounce to the backstop. One issue for Fetty today was of the 7 hits he gave up, 5 were extra base hits. Next pitch to Schneider's hit foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Genesis Cabrera is warming in that Blue Jays bullpen. I'm not sure if he's coming in this ball game. Gavin Sheets is second up. He's a left-handed hitter.
1-2. Schneider ropes it down the left field line. Fair ball, bouncing into the corner. Schneider around first. He's headed for second. The throw will go into third. It's a stand-up double for Davis Schneider with 2 outs.
Little hanging breaking ball from Dominic Leone. Davis Schneider loves the hangers, and he gets one right there, doesn't miss it.
Schneider's 10th double of the season, first hit of the day. And now Danny Jansen batting in the 2 spot for the first time in his major league career. We'll get a chance to try and drive in a run. First, Ethan Katz out to the mound.
Well, that is a big run standing out on second base.
Or rather, Pedro Grifol is going to take the ball. Pardon me. So he walked out. He'll take it from Leone. And Jordan Leisure, the right-hander, will come into the game to face Danny Jansen. 2 outs and a runner on second. 5-3 Blue Jays. Bottom of the 7th. Let's go to baseball control with Show Ali.
Thank you very much, guys. And before we check the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, let's give you a reminder that we do have Jays Talk this afternoon. Blair and Barker are back. They're here for the whole week. They have the whole White Sox series for Jays Talk, and they have the first 2 games of the 4-game set against the Detroit Tigers. They are in studio. They will be on both TV and radio. The back leg line is open right now, 416-413-3959. You'll hear the voice of Kevin Barker. He will instruct you to please leave your name and location. You can also send them a text, 590-590, also with your name and location. And if you do so, we'll try and get your text put up on the telly. Let's check the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Another reminder that tonight, Game 7 in Vancouver, Canucks Oilers. Puck drops at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. You can watch the remaining Canadian team moving on to the Western Conference Finals, taking on the Dallas Stars. Again, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. It'll be on Sportsnet and the CBC. You can listen to it on Sportsnet 650 on the radio. Canucks Central has got you covered both pre- and post-game, as always. Also, looking ahead to tomorrow for the Leafs fans out there, Craig Berube's introductory press conference will be at 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow morning on our flagship station, Sportsnet 590 The Fan. The schedule has been altered slightly. Blake Murphy will have J-Stock Plus from 10 to 11. Jeff Merrick will be on the job for an extra hour. He'll be live starting at 10:58 Eastern in the morning. Very precise. He'll cover the press conference live on his program. And Kipper and Bourne also going to start an hour earlier. They'll be on from 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern. Blue Jays baseball brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the action. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. Jordan Leisure, the right-hander, on the mound for the White Sox, trying to limit the Blue Jays from extending their lead. It's 5-3 Toronto, and Dominic Leone lifted from the game after a 2-out double by Davis Schneider. Danny Jansen to the plate, 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored. First pitch. High and tight, ball 1. Also an RBI for Jansen. We were both a little bit surprised that just after one mistake, Leon lifted from this game, Chris. 1-0. Called strike one.
Well, I think the biggest thing is you look at the numbers this season, and you probably don't have a ton of faith in a guy like Dominic Leon. We mentioned that he'd walked 11 guys in just 14 2/3 innings coming into this ball game. And if I'm a manager, I'm looking at those numbers specifically.
1-1 is down and away, 2-1. Whereas Leon's ERA is close to 7. Jordan Leisure in his rookie season has pitched 19 games to a 196 earned run average and even saved 2 games for the White Sox as well. The 2-1. Swinging a fly ball, deep left field. Benintendi looks up. It's gone. Danny Jansen's 5th home run of the season, a 2-run blast, and the Blue Jays extend the lead 7-3.
Well, Jordan Leisure hasn't made many mistakes in his big league career, but he makes a big one there, leaving that slider over the heart of the plate. Danny Jansen drills it into that Blue Jays bullpen in left field, did not miss it.
The 2 spot looking pretty good right now for Danny Jansen, who has 2 extra base hits today and 3 RBIs. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. up with 2 outs. The pitch. Fouled back, 0-1.
Now all he has to do is steal a bag. And he'd be a great two-hole hitter.
That's tough. Although John Schneider did say today that he'd call Danny Jansen an above-average runner for a catcher. He was being asked about what kind of catcher he was, and he said definitely not as fast as Danny. 0-1. Guerrero takes upstairs. What Schneider said about Jansen's spot in the lineup, it's not matchup-based. They want him hitting more often. Nothing set in stone, but he's having good at-bats, so they're going to push him up, and it's worked today. 7-3 Blue Jays, bottom 7, the 1-1. Guerrero takes upstairs, 2 balls, 1 strike.
I think that's the best answer to that question. You want the guys that get hits at the top of the lineup, and Danny Jansen gets hits for your ball club, so he should be at the top of the lineup. Very simple.
2-1 pitch. High ball 3. Guerrero today with a hit and a walk, an RBI and a run scored. I think the Blue Jays, they had a plan going into the year. They gave that plan something around a month, and now they've started to make major adjustments because it hasn't worked. Schneider at the top of the order, Jansen number 2. 3-1 to Guerrero. High and tight ball 4. He'll take a second walk today.
And remember, Jordan Leisure is in his rookie season. He's only pitched 18 1/3 innings total in his entire big league career, and he hasn't really had any failure. So his heart rate is speeding up now, and you want to take advantage of that if you're Bo Bichette.
That's going to prompt a mound visit from Ethan Katz, pitching coach for the White Sox. The catcher Corey Lee out there to talk to Leisure as well. Just gave him a big pat on the back. Leisure, a 14th rounder by the Dodgers in 2021 out of the University of Tampa, was the Spartans' closer in his senior year of college. Dealt to the White Sox last year as part of the package when Chicago sent Lance Lynn and Joe Kelly to the Dodgers.
Well, that's what Katz was saying, just coming out there to calm him down. He knows that he doesn't have much experience. First of all, giving up a 2-run homer and then walking a guy like Vlad, and now one of the Blue Jays' best hitters is coming to the plate right here.
Bo Bichette with his second 3-hit day of the season. 2 doubles and a single today. A run scored and an RBI. 7-3 Blue Jays. 2 outs. Vladdy on first. The pitch. Bo takes downstairs. 1-0. On Leisure's mentality, Dominic Leon was quoted to the Associated Press saying that his mix of demeanor and ability allows the moment to not get too big. Bichette ropes the 1-0 foul, 1-1. But he is still a young and fairly inexperienced guy at the big league level, being asked to be one of the top 3 relievers in a major league bullpen. Surrendered the home run to Jansen. Walked Guerrero, and the 1-1 to Bichette. Noah turned and threw to first. Vladdy back with a dive.
And we've seen specifically in this Blue Jays bullpen, it's not just the stuff. yes, you need the stuff to be a good reliever, but you need to have the mentality. Like Dominic Leone said, he doesn't let the situation get too big. And I don't know if he's letting this situation get too big, but this is a big, tough situation for a new guy coming into the ballgame.
Trying to bounce back against Bichette. Leisure peeks at first, kicks and delivers. And Bo drives the ball to left center. Benintendi racing to the wall. It bangs off the wall. Guerrero loses his helmet, headed for third. Stop sign put up by Carlos Fabulous. A third double today for Bo Bichette, and second and third for the Blue Jays with 2 outs.
Well, don't look now, but Bo Bichette is seeing the ball very, very well. And if him and Vlad are going, if him and Danny Jansen and Vlad are going, this offense could be very dangerous.
Bichette and Guerrero have reached 7 times in 8 plate appearances today. They're on second and third for Justin Turner. 0 for 3 today, the pitch. High ball 1. And wouldn't this be a time for Turner to snap out of the 0 for 28? A single scores 2 runs. 16 RBIs on the season for Turner, 4 homers, 1-0. Swing and a miss. Behind the fastball, 1-1.
And adding to this lead is very important, not only for the chances to win this ball game, but now Jimmy Garcia doesn't have to go back out for the 8th, and you save him. He can pitch again tomorrow.
1-1. Fouled off 1-2. Wouldn't hurt if the Blue Jays could save Jordan Romano either. I know it's Jordan Romano replica jersey day, don't get me wrong, but
he has to pitch today.
He wasn't really even supposed to pitch yesterday until a 2-run homer in the 9th forced him into a save opportunity, so he came into the game for 1 out. 1-2. Turner hits a flare to the right side, but it's down foul. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes.
They were just showing a slow motion replay of Vlad running around the bases. I don't think there's anybody in baseball that enjoys flying around the bases more than him.
Or wears a looser helmet. Second and third, 2 down. 2 runs this inning for the Blue Jays. 1-2 to Turner. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That will end the inning. The Blue Jays add 2 runs on 3 hits. The 2-run shot from Danny Jansen makes it 7-3 Toronto after 7 innings. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Don't miss a Manchester Derby edition of the FA Cup Final on Sirius XM FC. City meets United in a rematch of last year's final, with the Citizens pushing for another League Cup double.
Haaland well inside the area and fires one into the left-hand corner.
While the Red Devils are determined to finally topple their noisy neighbours.
Bruno Fernandes who spots the keeper on his line.
What a goal.
And scores!
Man City versus Man United in the FA Cup Final. Coverage begins Saturday at 10 Eastern on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your Sirius XM subscription? What? Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on Sirius XM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. Sirius XM Sports. We're more than just a game.
Blue Jays fans, your manager, John Schneider, joins MLB Network Radio every other Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern.
Just looking really for, especially the guys at the top, looking for those guys to get rolling, and confident that they will. But I think once they do that and once we kind of do that, things will kind of even out the way we hope they would to start the year.
Managers at the mic on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89 and the Sirius XM app.
You want baseball? The doggy has you covered. Tune in to Mad Dog Unleashed for the best baseball coverage anywhere. Weekdays 3 to 6 Eastern. Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Net Radio Network.
Your new favorite seat is waiting for you at Rogers Center. Seats in the 100-level corners are oriented towards the field and are now some of the best seats in the house with more comfort and views. Go to BlueJays.com/ticket packs. Lefty Genesis Cabrera takes over for Toronto. Top of the 8th, 7-3 Blue Jays. First pitch to Andrew Vaughn. Misses inside with the curveball, 1-0. Cabrera relieves Jimmy Garcia, who pitched a scoreless inning in the 7th after Jose Berrios had given up a homer to start that inning. 1-0. Popped up near first. Vladdy is jogging onto the infield turf towards the mound, makes a two-handed catch. 1 out. Cabrera has been slowly whittling his ERA down. It's in the low 5s right now after a tough start to the season. On April 27th, it was about 7.5, but Cabrera has put together a good handful of scoreless frames. Now there'll be a pinch hitter to deny Cabrera a left-on-left matchup with Gavin Sheets. The former Astro Corey Julks is up to hit here with 1 out. Julks in his 3rd game of the season was in the minors for the Astros before being traded this year to the White Sox. First pitch. Called strike 1.
And Yenesis Cabrera, in his 15 2/3 innings this season, has walked 9 guys and given up 22 hits. His whip is almost 2.
That's walks and hits and hit batters per innings pitched. 0-1 pitch in the dirt, 1-1.
And that's, in my opinion, the best judge of how many runners you normally have on base during a given inning. And right now, his is very high. When you have a 2 whip, that is very high, especially for a reliever.
Blue Jays get him a lower leverage situation here to try and work on some of that. The 1-1, fouled off by Julks, 1-2. So Corey Julks has only played 2 games before today, but he's made a pretty big impact so far. He's 3 for 7 with a double and a homer, and he also robbed a home run in one of those 2 games in the Bronx. Cabrera comes set. The 1-2, fouled off. Very close to a pitch clock violation there for Yenesis Cabrera, but he got into his motion in time. (7-3) Blue Jays, top of the 8th. Nobody on, 1 out. Shade covering most of the field. A streak of sunlight from left center to the right field corner. 1-2 pitch. Hit foul down the right field line and into the seats.
And when looking at Yenesis Cabrera's stuff, you wonder how his numbers, they're not bad, they're just elevated at this point. They're just inflated. Still has that huge fastball, 96 to 98 miles an hour, the big slider.
1-2 again. Fastball called a ball, and that is tough. That was the cut fastball or the slider. It's kind of a mix between the two, and that really looked like it was on the zone. It did miss the spot, but the virtual strike box more than had that as a strike. 2-2. Hit on the ground down the left field line, foul. Julks almost immediately made Cabrera pay for the missed call, which wasn't Cabrera's fault, but almost hit a double down the left field line.
Yeah, just left the slider right over the middle of the plate. Kind of a hanger.
Julks, an 8th rounder by the Astros out of the University of Houston in 2017. Faces a 2-2. Fastball, high and outside, ball 3.
You don't want to walk a guy here. Ahead by 4, 1 out in the inning. Just throw a good pitch, throw a good fastball down in the zone. Let Julks get himself out.
You have the powerful Eloy Jimenez on deck. Payoff pitch. Down and away, ball 4. A 1-out walk. And Corey Julks stands on first as a pinch hitter with Eloy Jimenez coming up.
And if you're a reliever coming into this situation, ahead by 4, you just want to throw strikes. You just want to throw good pitches. No nibbling. I think that's the biggest thing. That's rule number 1. When you come into a ball game like this ahead by 4, don't nibble.
Now Cabrera faces Jimenez with a runner on first and 1 out. Left on right pitch. Strike 1. The Dominican DH Eloy Jimenez has a lot of power in his bat. He just hasn't stayed healthy enough over the majority of his career to show it. But he's a guy who hit 31 homers as a rookie. 0-1, runner takes off from first, pitch down and in. And Jimenez walking across the plate as he got out of the way. Jansen doesn't even throw, didn't have a chance. It's a stolen base for Julks and a runner in scoring position here for the White Sox.
Yeah, Julks got a great jump there.
Eliminates the chance for a double play for Toronto. Let's go Blue Jays breaking out here at Rogers Center. 1-1, swing and a miss. Got him to chase a changeup, and it's 1-2.
Eloy Jimenez is a huge guy, 6'4", 250. Loves to get those big, long arms extended, so you want to tie him up with something in.
A look at second from Cabrera. 1-2. Downstairs, ball 2. Jimenez stands 6'4", 250 pounds. Twirls his barrel up toward the sky. 2-2. Check swing on another pitch down, full count. Eric Swanson's been loosening in the Blue Jay bullpen right now. Toronto up 7-3. A pop-up produced by Cabrera off Andrew Vaughn, but then a walk of Corey Julks. And now a 1-2 count has turned 3-2 against Jimenez. Cabrera reaches back and releases. Fouled off. Similar to Julks' at bat, where it was 1-2, and Cabrera struggled to put him away, a couple foul balls, and then ended up walking him. A look at second from the lefty. And an offering home. In the dirt, ball 4. Back-to-back walks. Cabrera slaps his glove with his left hand. And all of a sudden, the tying runs on deck. Coming to the plate right now will be Andrew Benintendi with 2 on and 1 out.
Well, I think if you want to spin it in a positive way there, you set up the double play. You have Andrew Benintendi coming up, who is a left-handed hitter. Now you have a left-on-left matchup. Do you want to walk that guy there? Of course not. But if you're going to walk that guy, I would rather walk Eloy Jimenez and have Benintendi coming up next, a left-on-left matchup.
Pete Walker talking to his pitcher, catcher, and infield right now. But CB Buckner heading out from behind the plate to break it up. Blue Jays want to get out of this 8th inning and try to add on some runs in the bottom half. They lead 7-3 over the White Sox. But Chicago, until recently, has kind of hung around all day. And because of that, both Eric Swanson and Jordan Romano are loosening up right now for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, I think the closer this game gets, if the White Sox get a run here, you probably will see Jordan Romano. I wouldn't put Eric Swanson in a 3-run ball game.
We'll have to wait and see. Maybe Cabrera makes it a moot point. He's got a left-on-left matchup right now with Andrew Benintendi. First and second, 1 out. A look at second and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Got him to chase the cutter down and away.
And now that you're ahead in the count, 0-1, you probably want to start expanding that zone if you're Genesis Cabrera. Something up, something down, but nothing in the heart of the plate.
Lefties have hit .258 against Cabrera this year. Righties over .400. Left on left 0-1. Hit softly to left. Backing up Varsho. Now sprints in. Makes a catch near his hip. Toss over to second. Picked by Schneider but late. Julks was straying too far away from the bag because Varsho almost let that ball drop in. But Varsho makes the play, chases back Julks, and there are 2 outs.
Well, I think Varsho thought that ball was hit harder than it was. He takes a couple steps back and then has to run in. And he almost gets Julks at second base.
2 down now, 2 on, and the White Sox best hitter today, Paul DeJong, coming to the plate. He's 3 for 3 with a home run and 2 singles. He has 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. 7-3 Blue Jays. First and second, 2 outs, top 8. The pitch. Inside. 1-0. These 2 teammates with the Blue Jays last year and for many years with the St. Louis Cardinals. Cabrera sets, looks out at second, and the left on right pitch. Lifted to right field, slicing toward the corner. Springer on the run, near the foul line, catches it in fair territory. DeYoung finally retired, and the inning is over. Cabrera flirts with danger, but strands the 2 walks, and the Blue Jays take a 7-3 lead to the bottom of the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today. Go to pizzapizza.ca.
The hardest work should lead to the best quality of life. If you're a skilled trades worker, you might not be feeling that way right now. But in Alberta, skilled trades workers can earn more, save more, and live more with better wages and a lower cost of living. Visit albertaiscalling.ca to learn more about the $5,000 moving bonus for the first 2,000 skilled trades workers who move to Alberta, stay for a year, and successfully apply. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Hey, this is David Schneider. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. Bottom of the 8th inning at Rogers Center. Welcome back. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Left-hander Tim Hill is on now for the White Sox. Blue Jays up 7-3, and the first pitch to George Springer is sidearmed in high, ball 1. Springer searching for his first time aboard today. 0 for 3, a pair of groundouts and a flyout. 1-0. High, 2-0. Hill's the 4th White Sox pitcher to go today. Blue Jays have scored off all of the previous 3. 2-0. Called inside. Springer kind of gets a break there. 3 balls, no strikes.
That is a tough arm angle from Tim Hill. Sidearm, tons of run.
His 3-0. Inside again, ball 4. Hill in 19 appearances has a 2.25 earned run average so far. 6 walks in 16 innings is a little high, especially with his only 8 strikeouts in those 16 innings. And this is his 7th walk now as he puts Springer on to start the inning. Tough at bat coming up, though, left on left for Dalton Varsho. First pitch is lined to left center field, a base hit. Springer up to second. Varsho stops at first. Never mind. Easy one for Varsho, who picks up his second hit of the day.
Well, if the White Sox were playing him straight up, that would have been an easy double play ball, but the White Sox were shaded towards second base just a little bit, and Varsho gets enough of it to get it into left field there. Kind of got jammed a little bit. You were right. That's a tough AB for a left-handed hitter.
Here's Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who takes inside, ball 1. First and second for the Blue Jays, nobody out. Toronto up 7-3 in the 8th inning. Eric Swanson is up in the Blue Jays pen right now. 1-0. Down low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Jordan Romano was up in the top of the 8th inning, but is no longer. 1-1. IKF fouls it off to the right as a clockwise wave makes its way around Rogers Center. All 3 levels involved, 100, 200, and 500.
That's impressive.
And fairly synchronized. 500's a little bit ahead. 1-2. IKF takes way outside.
Are you disappointed that it looks like Jordan Romano won't be pitching on Jordan Romano Day?
No, I think it's a great development for the Toronto Blue Jays potentially.
It's not his day. It's just Jersey giveaway.
Jersey Day, yeah. 2-2 pitch fouled back, still 2-2. And it's, Zach Pop is on the team now, but when this was scheduled, at least, Jordan Romano was the only Canadian on the team, and it is Victoria Day. Two once more. Swing and a miss, strike 3. A high and outside fastball gets IKF. There's 1 down.
And here comes Kevin Kiermaier, and he has struggled mightily against lefties this season. A lot of tough swings, a lot of tough ABs, and I would say that Tim Hill is probably one of the harder left-handed relievers in all of baseball to hit, especially for left-handed hitters.
First pitch to Kiermaier's down and in, 1-0. Kevin's 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored. 7-3 Blue Jays. Springer on second. Varsho on first. The 1-0 is upstairs, ball 2. What Hill gains in his funky delivery, he sacrifices a bit in velocity. Fastball is sitting in the low 90s today. Next pitch fouled off. 2-1. Does throw a pretty sharp high 80s slider, and will mix in a changeup and curve as well. The former Padre and Royal left-hander comes set, glove near his chest. 2-1. Swing and a miss. And a late swing there from Kiermaier trying to square up that sinker.
Yeah, you could just see how uncomfortable Kiermaier is. That fastball wasn't even close to the strike zone, but he offers at it anyways.
2-2 is way inside, ball 3. Top of the order is next. Davis Schneider will bat unless there's a double play. 3-2. Outside, ball 4. Big bat flip by Kiermaier. He walks to load the bases.
I would have a big bat flip too. Taking a walk on a tough AB like that. Now Davis Schneider. Davis Schneider loves hitting against left-handed pitchers.
Schneider with a double and a run scored today, 1 for 4. Bases loaded, 1 out, and the first pitch is called strike 1. Schneider's hit 3 of his 5 home runs on the year against lefties. 0-1. Looked for another homer there and swung and missed on a fastball, 0-2.
He was certainly looking for a granny right there.
Blue Jays have 2 this year. Varsho here at home and Vladdy in Washington. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Expands outside and misses that fastball. 2 down. Here comes Danny Jansen. Two down and the bases loaded. Springer on third, Varsho on second, Kiermaier on first, and the first pitch to Jano is called strike 1 at the top of the zone. Danny Jansen's 2 for 4 today with 3 RBIs. His hits are a double and then a 2-run shot last inning. 0-1. Upstairs, 1 ball and 1 strike. Batting average at .324 now for Danny Jansen, who awaits the 1-1. Check swing. Pitch was high and outside. Appeal to first. No swing, says Dan Iasonia. 2-1. This season, Jansen has hit .385 against left-handed pitching. 2-1. Buckles Jansen on the inside edge. It's called strike 2. Toronto up 7-3, trying to add on some insurance. It looks like Eric Swanson will come on for the 9th. Next pitch to Jano, nearly hit him in the back foot. Now it's a full count with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
And if you're Danny Jansen, you're ready for one right down the heart of the plate. I don't think Tim Hill will throw anything off speed with the bases loaded and 2 outs here.
Springer on third, and the 3-2 is hit hard left side, off the glove of Mendick and into left field. Springer scores. Varsho right behind him. Kiermaier into third. It's a 2-run single for Danny Jansen, and the Blue Jays are on top 9-3.
And Danny Jansen just got his 4th and 5th RBIs of the day. What a game for Danny Jansen. He is 3 for 5 today. He got that fastball, and he didn't miss it, right on the inside part of the plate. Actually, I think that was that a cutter? I don't know what that was, but it was a pitch on the inside part of the plate. And Danny Jansen didn't miss it, drilling it into left field.
Here's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. takes strike 1. The pitch reading says that it was an unusually slow sinker from Tim Hill. Around 88-89. Jansen on first, Kiermaier on third, and the pitch to Vladdy is lined foul, right side, 0-2. Oh, this has been one of the better days for the Blue Jays offense all season. 9 runs, and they've scored in 5 different innings. 0-2 outside, 1-2. It has definitely felt at times, while the Blue Jays can put up a big inning, that they haven't added on a ton. Today they have. The 1-2. High and tight. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, happy Victoria Day. Blue Jays found their offense.
Toronto up 9-3, bottom of the 8th inning. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. The pitch. Lifted a mile high, but not super deep to left. Benintendi charging into the ray of sunlight, makes the catch, and ends the inning. The Blue Jays add on 2 on 2 hits. It's Danny Jansen's 2-run single that makes it 9-3 Toronto after 8. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Let the games begin.
On SiriusXM, you get all the sports play-by-play you want and all the live sports talk you need. It's always a home game when you listen to the NFL, NHL, NBA, and MLB on the all-new SiriusXM app.
How good is that?
Refuel your fandom with NASCAR, the biggest college games, PGA, and soccer. And when news breaks, hear instant reaction.
We got a big developing story out of Cincinnati.
The all-new SiriusXM app. Everything a sports fan needs, all in one place.
Each night after the horn sounds, NBA Radio has you covered with the best analysis of all the games.
When healthy, they check a lot of boxes.
We'll break down the playoff action.
Tatum saw it coming, picked it off, drives in, and throws it down with 2 hands.
And take you inside the locker room to hear from the players and coaches.
It seemed like we had a lot of guys that were getting banged up, but we were able to get the job done.
Hear the NBA Radio Playoffs postgame show every night throughout the postseason on NBA Radio Channel 86 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
While you're listening to this game on SiriusXM, we're talking about the latest odds and prop bets for this and every game on Sports Grid Radio.
The under's minus 125. Heavy juice to the under.
Every home run hit and every strikeout thrown can change the line.
I can't for the life of me figure out how you can favor a team that never wins, ever.
If you're looking for sports talk centered around the latest odds and prop bets for games, races, tournaments, or any sporting event, Sports Grid Radio, SiriusXM, Channel 159.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90. Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Tom Young, Luke Swadron, our technical directors today. Joe Ali, our host and producer. Blue Jays talk coming up soon with Blair and Barker. 9-3 Blue Jays, top of the 9th. Eric Swanson is on, looking for the last 3 outs. He'll get 7, 8, 9 in the White Sox order, starting with Corey Lee, the catcher, who's been aboard twice today. The pitch. Fastball is there for strike 1. Tough start to the year for Swanson, an ERA in the double digits. His 0-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. However, the Blue Jays haven't afforded him many low-leverage opportunities yet. They get one now with Toronto up 6. Oh-2 pitch. Foul tipped into the glove, strike 3. Got him on a fastball, 1 out.
And this is a big inning, not only for the Blue Jays, but for Eric Swanson. He can start to build the confidence back up. The stuff is still there. That's the thing that I'm noticing with Eric Swanson. It's just the command of those pitches. He's throwing far too many pitches in the upper part of the strike zone. He just needs to build that confidence and throw fastballs down in the zone.
First pitch splitter gets a swing and a miss from Nicky Lopez, 0-1.
And that was a good one right there.
Lopez pulled off entirely, was way out in front. It's been a good day, though, for the White Sox second baseman. 2 hits in 3 tries. 0-1 pitch is high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fastball, splitter, slider for Swanson. He starts in that splitter grip, as many of the splitter-throwing Blue Jays pitchers will, and then adjusts after the signal. 1-1. Here's the splitter. It's called a ball. That was about a perfect pitch on the outside corner. 2-1.
It looked like C.B. Buckner was going to call a strike there, kind of stepped back like he was about to call that strike, and then didn't.
Swanson tries to make up for it with the 2-1. Misses high. 3 balls, 1 strike.
You can see Pete Walker cheering him on out there. I'm sure they've done a ton of work before games.
3-1 pitch. Line to center field, headed toward right center. It bounces. It's a base hit. Kevin Kiermaier cuts it off, spins and throws it back to Davis Schneider. But for Lopez, a 3-for-4 day and a base runner here in the 9th for the White Sox.
And that's the biggest thing with Eric Swanson. You can't fall behind 3-1, especially in a 9-3 ball game. You have to throw strikes. You have to throw good strikes down in the zone. And once you fall behind, you have to come back with a fastball. And Nicky Lopez just makes him pay right there with a good line drive into center field.
First pitch to Danny Mendick with 1 on. Outside, ball 1.
And now you're starting to nibble just a little bit. You're up by 6. Just throw strikes. That's all you need to do here.
Guerrero not really holding on the runner. Plays in front of him and close to the first base bag. 1-0. Check swing. Pitch was up and in. Jansen pumping out his glove. He liked the pitch location, but it's 2 balls and no strikes. 9-3 Blue Jays, top of the 9th. First of 3 against the White Sox. 2-0. At the knees for strike 1. Blue Jays with a big offensive day. 9 runs on 12 hits. 2 homers and a lot of doubles. The 2-1. Check swing. Pitch was high. Appeal to first. No swing. And it's 3-1. 6 doubles to be exact for the Blue Jays bats today. Swanson in the set. The right-hander kicks and delivers. Swing and a liner. Left field. Backs up. Varsho makes the catch. About 20 feet in front of the track. He'll toss it back in. There are 2 outs.
And I think he got away with one there. Eric Swanson again fell behind 3-1, but Mendick just missed that pitch. Hit a good line drive to Dalton Varsho in left field. But again, you have to get ahead of these hitters, especially in a 9-3 ball game.
2 outs now in the top of the 9th, and as Chris said, Blue Jays up 9-3. Runner on first. Tommy Pham up, the leadoff hitter, takes the first pitch outside. 1-0. Pham is 0 for 4 today, 3 strikeouts and a ground ball into a double play. Let's go Blue Jays here at Rogers Center on Victoria Day. The 1-0. Low 2-0. Almost 37,000 showing out during this Monday of a long weekend. Toronto coming up with 2 runs in the second, in the third, a run in the sixth, 2 in the seventh, and 2 in the eighth. 2-0. Line to center field. Charging in Kiermaier. Slides, and he made the catch to win the game. Kevin Kiermaier rips it away from the carpet. George Springer all over him. And Kiermaier gets up and puts his hands to his ears facetiously, knowing the White Sox are probably going to ask for a challenge. But there's the horn. The game is over, and the Blue Jays have won it. 9-3, capped off in great style by Kiermaier.
Well, I think Dalton Varsho and George Springer were a little bit tentative to go give Kevin Kiermaier a hug out there. They're waiting to see if the Chicago White Sox would challenge, and they saw the replay. They saw that Kevin Kiermaier caught that baseball, and what a game from the Toronto Blue Jays. You have to win these ball games. We talked about that before the game, especially against the Chicago White Sox team that doesn't have much offense. They really don't have much pitching either, but the Blue Jays put a lot of runs on the Chicago White Sox best pitcher today, and there were a lot of good ball games.
Blue Jays win today 9-3 over the White Sox. They win back-to-back games for the first time since late April and have an opportunity to come out and maybe take a series for the first time since late April tomorrow. We won't get ahead of ourselves, though. We'll wrap this one up first before sending you over to Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker. Stick around. The Blue Jays win 9-3, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
Bring excitement to your landscape with Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better. So they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart deferred payment program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
Hey, this is Chris Bassett. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Rogers Center after a Blue Jays series opening win. 9-3. They take the game today over the Chicago White Sox. A happy Victoria Day for the 37,000 that showed out at Rogers Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Get your calls in, get in the queue now, because Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker is coming up in just a second. But Chris, first with today's starting pitcher for Toronto, Jose Berrios. Did he have his best stuff of the season? Maybe not, but he found a way to get into the 7th inning for the Blue Jays and keep them in front today. What did you think of his performance?
Well, I don't want to say he grinded through this ball game, because he didn't really grind through it, but he didn't have his best stuff. He didn't have that big fastball. We saw glimpses of the 94, 95, even I think a 96, but it was mostly around the 91 to 93. His command wasn't great. The changeup was okay at times, but he got through the ball game. He had a quality start, and that's really all you can ask for from a guy like Jose Berrios. When he doesn't have his best stuff, hey, just go out there and give us a chance to win, and he definitely did that.
For the Blue Jays, it was their 7th quality start in the last 10 games. Their starting pitching has certainly helped lead the way recently, but also a big offensive day. Toronto fell down early 1-0. Dalton Varsho hit a 2-run homer in the second to help get it back. And the Blue Jays would lead from there, although they kept extending their lead thanks to today's player of the game. Danny Jansen came up with a couple big moments. Take a listen. Fetty's pitch. Hit in the air, right center, deep. Sheets going back, Pham as well, and it bounces off the wall. Kiermaier in to score. Jansen up to second with an RBI double. The 2-1. Swinging a fly ball, deep left field. Benintendi looks up. It's gone. Springer on third, and the 3-2 is hit hard left side, off the glove of Mendick and into left field. Springer scores. Varsho right behind him. Kiermaier into third. It's a 2-run single for Danny Jansen, and the Blue Jays are on top 9-3.
Well, Danny Jansen was 3 for 5 with 5 huge RBIs, and you really can't say enough about him. He's now hitting .333 on the season, and he is quietly turning into one of the best catchers in all of baseball. I know I kind of asked you last week when the Blue Jays were playing against the Philadelphia Phillies, hey, is Danny Jansen as good as JT Realmuto? And you kind of laughed, and I said it tongue-in-cheek.
Well, it's a tough question.
It's a tough question, I agree, but he is quietly climbing the ranks of major league catchers, and this is his free agent year, so this is a good time for him to be doing that. But also, you have to talk about Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette was 4 for 4, and he also is quietly increasing that average. He's now hitting .230. I remember it feels like yesterday he was hitting .195, and now he's hitting .230. So Bo Bichette, who obviously is a huge part of this lineup, and this is why the Blue Jays are who they are over the last couple of games, is because of Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette is turning into the guy that is carrying this team, him along with Vlad. I'm telling you, this team is built to make the playoffs. I know that people like to dog on them, and there's been a lot of negative things over the last 45 days or so, but this team, if everything is going right, this team is built to make the playoffs.
Bo Bichette, in his 4 hits, comes up with 3 doubles and scores a run as well as drives in a run. Vladdy reaches 3 times today, has an RBI and a run scored as well. You get a double from Davis Schneider, who came in to score in the 7th inning, and Dalton Varsho with the homer. He also had a single and a run scored too. The Blue Jays win 9-3 today at Rogers Center and move to 21-25 on the year. The White Sox down to 14-34 with the loss. Pretty exciting matchup coming up tomorrow. The Blue Jays have Yusei Kikuchi facing off with Garrett Crochet for the White Sox at 7:07. We hope to see you there. But today the Blue Jays score 9 runs on 12 hits, no errors, leave 6 on. They went 5 for 16 with runners in scoring position and over 300 average. And the White Sox score 3 runs on 9 hits, no errors, 7 left on. Jose Berrios with the win to go to 5-3. Eric Fetty's first loss of the year puts his record at 4-1. No save today, although Blue Jays pitchers Jimmy Garcia, Genesis Cabrera, and Eric Swanson pick up 3 scoreless innings after Berrios comes out of the game. 37,000 here on a very sunny 25-degree day in downtown Toronto. That took just over 2 hours and 35 minutes to produce the 21st win of the year for the Blue Jays. Again, we appreciate you tuning in today. For our technical directors, Luke Swadron and Tom Young, our host and producer, Show Ali, and my partner, Chris LaRue. We hope to see you tomorrow with game coverage starting at 7, Kikuchi versus Crochet, and a chance to win this series. Hope you have a good finish to your long weekend and get your calls in, because Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker starts right now.
All right, the last time the Toronto Blue Jays won back-to-back. Yeah, Parker. It was April 28th to 29th. They beat the Dodgers 3-1. They beat Kansas City 6-5. That was also the last time they were at 500. They were at 15-15 back then. It is Blue Jays talk with Blair and Barker. And the number to call is the back leg line, 416-413-3959. Leave us a voice note. And you can text us at 590-590. We're on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. And on the TV side, in a few minutes, we're here until 7 o'clock. We'll be going live to John Schneider's news conference as well. But, Kevin, a 9-3 win for the Blue Jays. You know, Cito Gaston always used to talk about, obviously home runs are great, but Cito Gaston always used to talk about how much he liked to see a team hit doubles, because doubles to him suggested a good approach. It suggested that guys were on time or getting on time. 12 hits for the Blue Jays today, 6 doubles, 3 of them by Bo Bichette, his first multi-extra hit game of the year. 3 of them by Bo Bichette, 2 home runs as well. And the Blue Jays putting the boots to the Chicago White Sox 9-3. Now, a couple of things. One, the White Sox offensively, well, are the only team worse than the Blue Jays. We're the only team worse than the Blue Jays coming into this game.
Offensively.
There
you go. Clean that up.
But all that aside, Kevin, I mean, you really got to be a negative Nelly to look at this game and try to come up with something bad for the Blues.
So let's don't do that. It's holiday. Let's all be happy and be happy that John Schneider actually made out a lineup.
John Schneider's a genius. I said.
We'll give him credit.
Well, whoever
should have started with
whoever moved Danny Jansen into the number 2 spot is a genius.
Well, I mean,
doubling a home run.
Every time I've talked to anybody around that, I get the same answer all the time. The last call is John Schneider.
Well,
so we will give John Schneider the credit for putting Danny Jansen in the 2-hole. Hopefully he's in there tomorrow.
He should do his. I was going to say, hopefully Danny Jansen is in the number 2 spot tomorrow. Yes, indeed. Or maybe Daniel Vogelbach will be back DHing.
Boy,
I mean, because you were, you were crying before the game.
Well, he did have 3 hits.
Vogelbach got 3 hits. That blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then, too. I keep telling you that. Daniel Vogelbach's not getting another 3 hits.
Yeah, they had some really
good.
Does,
you know when he does? It's going to be a AAA.
Let's be
clear.
I thought you weren't going to be negative.
I'm not negative, but I'm just, you came on Blair and Barker. No Vogelbach. Can't believe it. No Vogelbach.
I said,
and they didn't need him. They got 9 runs. They got 12 hits. Again, John Schneider's a genius. He had Danny Jansen in the number 2 spot. It looked great.
Yeah, I think what I was trying to say was Justin Turner been struggling a lot.
Yeah, he has.
Guy had 3 hits, hit a homer. They don't hit a bunch of homers lefty.
They're going negative with Justin Turner.
No, that's what I was saying on our show. Look, I think if you're Bo Bichette and you're walking away from this thing and you're thinking to yourself, I got a slider down the middle. I got a sinker down the middle, a little down. I got a sinker middle 0-2 for a single. The sweeper was on the black away. I got a little lucky double right there. Point being, I think, is if he gets a good pitch to hit, he puts a good swing on it. And when he is doing those kind of things, because he's very good at hitting. I don't think we can argue that. I just think whenever he's struggling and it's sort of trying to put together the mental part of it, the timing part of it, and the mechanical part of it, and all the conversation off the field part of it, all mixed together, and actually want to go up and be productive is a very hard thing to do. I think this should tell him something. If he gets a pitch somewhere close to the middle of the plate, because he has lots of talent offensively, great things are going to happen. And I think that's sort of as simple as this thing needs to be, right? No matter what the count is, if I'm still looking down the middle, because I can do things with my hips, I can do things with my hands, my barrel will get in the zone way back, and it'll stay in the zone a long time. And if I'm getting a decent pitch to hit, good things are going to happen. So take that away from the game and hit the ground running here.
I want to welcome our friends on Sportsnet TV, and let's go to John Schneider, manager of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Jad on, there with the single there in the 8th inning to kind of give us a little bit of breathing room. And then really big home run, obviously, in the 7th to kind of keep Jimmy there instead of going back out for one more hitter. But, yeah, he's been pretty consistent all year.
And this offensive performance seemed more spread out, better than in past games. What allows the lineup to do that compared to games where that doesn't happen and it stays in one inning?
Well, I mean, I think, you look at, Bo had 4 hits. Vlad hit the ball well. Jano hit the ball really, really well. Schneid just missed one and hit a double. So I think that key to me today was Varsh's homer, his first AB, to kind of take the lead back a little bit right there. But then, just little things, KK's hustle double, kind of getting things going. Vladdy scoring from first on Bo's double. But I think when Bo and Vlad are doing what they're doing, puts us in a good spot. And then obviously Jano's really swinging the bat well right now.
John, you just mentioned Varsha's homer being key. What made it in your mind so key?
They score, early, and I think that, just taking the lead right back is big. When you got, Hosey on the mound, or any one of our 5 on the mound, really. But it kind of just shifts the momentum a little bit early. He can do that on pitches in that part of the zone. So I think just kind of taking the lead back right there was big.
And from an approach standpoint, swing decisions, those kind of, what would you like to see your hitters bottle from today and continue onwards?
I thought we had a good plan. I mean, Fetty's good. He's having a good year, obviously. But I thought our plan was good, and I thought we adjusted really well. He was living away, and we were trying to get him just out over the plate a little bit more. And we did that second time. Varsh, obviously, first time. But I think as the game went on, guys were really trying to get him up in the zone a little bit, because when the sweeper, cutter, sinkers, off, it's going to be weak contact. So I thought they did a good job of adjusting and, fighting off some pitches and then putting good swings on pitches we wanted to swing at.
John, Berrios had a quality start that didn't really feel like a quality start. What did you see, and did he come out a couple of batters early because of frustration?
No, I mean, I think I thought he was good. I thought there were some really close pitches today, and I thought there were just a couple mistakes with 2 strikes that were just in the zone too much. No, I don't think. I think with the way the score was, I think it was 3-run lead at the time. Wanted to try to get him one more, but didn't want to push him too far, even though he's on an extra day of rest.
Thanks, everyone.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Again, welcome to Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, the Sportsnet Radio Network, and Sportsnet 9-3, the Blue Jays beating the Chicago White Sox, the first game of a 3-game series at the Rogers Center. Jeff Blair and Kevin Barker. That was John Schneider, manager of the Toronto Blue Jays. And, of course, most of the focus will be on the offense today, and rightly so. 9 runs is that's been a good week for this team at points or at points in the season. But let's talk a little bit about Jose Berrios. And again, if you want to jump into the conversation, 416-413-3959 is the back leg line. 590-590 is the text line. Look, if you're coming back from the lake, you're stuck in traffic, you ain't going anywhere. Nope. Get your passenger to send us a text.
Absolutely.
Send us a text, 590-590.
Yep, love to hear from you.
And name and location, we'll get you on. Let's talk a little bit about Jose Berrios. Alejandro Kirk called all 9 of his previous starts this year. He allowed 8 hits. It was a season high. Wasn't, look, again, we're not going to get anything negative out of this, but that wasn't the best we've seen of Jose Berrios.
Yeah, look, what was he? He was 14.
And he looked like he was
14 and 25,
stretching a lot. And
yeah. I mean, look, he was wearing sleeves, which is sort of odd. I mean, it was pretty warm out there. It just seemed to me like for whatever reason, it's just he couldn't get things lined up the way I think normally it's right. He gets the sign, he grips it, he throws it. Like just seems like he was sort of all in between, trying to figure out, where my shirt is. It's tucked in too far. It's, am I loose enough? Like, why am I wearing these sleeves? Like, why is that ball not breaking there? It's like you could just tell he was searching, especially with 2 strikes against certain hitters. He navigated. I think that's the thing, right? And this Jose, can do this, right? The mechanical changes he's made, he's eliminated a lot of extra movement that he didn't need in past years that now, sort of when he needed to make a big pitch, he made it. I think you're trying to say maybe that them having Danny Jansen behind the plate may have, caused a little hiccup and had him mentally working harder. But I'm not going to let you do that, Jeff. I mean, sometimes you will throw a grenade my way and try and get me to say things of that nature. I will not do that. They scored 9 runs. They beat a team that they, quite frankly, should beat all the time. And they had their best pitcher on the mound who didn't have his best stuff and still gave them the thing that they needed, which is a quality start and a chance for a lineup and individuals in that lineup to have big days against a bad team. And that's exactly what happened. Nice try, though. I'm on to your ways, buddy.
Tell you what, it only took you a while. Only took like 8 years. Danny Jansen's home run, 377-foot shot. You noticed something about not just the pitch he hit, but the pitch he took on the 1-0 count. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Yeah, it sure
looked to me like he was ahead in the count. He took a fastball right down the middle from a guy that, throws 97 like
that.
So
what are you thinking right away?
It looked to me like he's sitting spin. I mean, I think coming into tonight, they were hitting somewhere right around the 180s off the fastball. It's almost like if nobody else can hit it, why would I look for it? It's, again, not every at-bat you can go up just sitting heater. If you're going to have success to the pull side, which is what Danny wants to do, right? He don't want to hit balls to right field. If he hits it over there, a lot of the times it's a mistake. He wants to get the ball in the air to the pull side. You think you could do that with 97? Sure didn't look to me that way. I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot of other people have had success trying to do that. So you ask, hey, what's he got? How hard's he throw? Anybody else having success pulling the baseball off him? Probably not off his fastball. Sit, spin. It just looks to me when he took the fastball in a fastball count and then he gets the spinner and he hit the spinner where he hit the spinner. I mean, sometimes you just got to call a spade a spade. So, yeah, I think this is sort of where Danny's at, right? You can put him anywhere in the order. He has a really good approach to what he's trying to do to a baseball. And if a guy is not going to allow him to do that on a certain pitch, why would he look for it? I mean, maybe I'm giving him too much credit, but boy, it sure looked that way. And as soon as I saw that, I looked at you and I said, man, it sure does look like he was sitting on that. So we're going to give him credit, and, it worked out for him, and that was a big hit.
Let's go to Miguel in Quebec. He left us a comment on the back leg line.
At what point is George Springer going to be back in the leadoff spot? If he begins to hit maybe like this weekend? I think we should stay with David Snyder and Danny Jansen at the leadoff spot and the second spot. I just don't think that the change needs to be made on this lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping the next time we see him in the leadoff spot is, 2025. Spring training, maybe a nice day.
Travel day in spring.
Travel day, maybe a nice day in break. No, I'm not going that far. I mean, he can hit leadoff in spring training. He can hit leadoff in the game in Dunedin. I have no problem. I have no problem. Look, we don't know.
Right now, it doesn't make sense.
Well, no, it doesn't make sense. And, it seems as if George Springer is on board. At least he's saying publicly he's on board with the move to drop him in the order. I think my friend Mr. Barker may be right, even though he thinks I'm an idiot when I said when I suggested that George, go knock on the principal's door and say, hey, John, I got this idea. I stink now. Why don't you move me down into the sixth spot? And
I hate to agree with you, but it sure seems like after the double play he hit it to in the eighth inning on Friday, it sure seemed like.
But I mean, no. Listen, as far as the leadoff spot, I hope they don't change it.
Here's all, and I knew this would be brought up. This is why I wrote these two situations down. You see in the second inning with Bo Bichette at third base and less than 2 outs, the quality of the at bat Springer had was not very good.
No.
The sixth inning with a runner at third base and less than 2 outs, you see the quality of the bat is not very good. I think that for me is all you need to know there. Right now, it just doesn't make any sense. You force George to force you into making a change. Those at-bats right there, if you're the manager, is not going to do it.
And we talked about, the previous games where George Springer has been hitting sixth. He contributed. He got on base a couple of times, had a double. Today, I mean, his biggest contribution today was walks and scores a run. And
when your team's in last place, can't sell to your fans and to your lineup and your locker room that one guy is getting more at bats than the other guy. You just can't sell it.
You can't do it.
Nope.
So I'm hoping that absent anything odd that John Schneider that he sticks with Davis Schneider and Danny Jansen at the top. Or and here's the thing. I mean, if he moves Danny Jansen, whatever. If he wants to play games. If he likes what Bo's doing, maybe you move Bo into the number 2 spot, move Danny into the cleanup spot, whatever. I mean, the point is, I think right now it's got to be Schneider, Jansen, Guerrero, and then Bichette as your top 4.
Yep.
Justin Turner is not getting it done right now. So Justin Turner, I think he's maybe the next guy. Listen, I got to say this. I got to throw this out there. I would rather have Spencer Horwitz up here making contact than Daniel Vogelbach.
You can't have 3 DHs.
Daniel Vogelbach, adios. Daniel Vogelbach. We're not going to have a debate. We're not going to have a debate about Daniel. I refuse to have a debate about Daniel Vogelbach. Derek in Vancouver, 416-413-3959. That's a back league line. Derek had a message for us.
Question around Justin Turner. What do you think's happening with him? Is it finally his age catching up, or are you seeing something in his swing or approach that's just not clicking right now? Great win from the boys today. But yeah, looking for some input there. Thanks.
I'll turn it over to the hitting expert.
Look, I think when you get off to a hot start and, the Khakis have to start digging into what they're trying to get you out.
Very well done, by the way, Barker. Roughly 10 minutes before you mentioned
I didn't even mention Khakis in our show. So it's a good solid 50 minutes of that show and 10 minutes of this show. He's trying to have an uppercut in his swing. He wants to get the ball in the air. So if I'm a pitcher or a Khaki or a pitching coach, I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, you've told us that you want to uppercut in your swing. You want to get the ball in the air. So try the elevated fastball. We're going to crowd you with that. So the league's made an adjustment, right? That's what the game is all about. When you're having success, you're hitting in the middle of the order. You're, an air-quoted run producer. They're going to try and figure out ways to get you out. And I think that's what it is, right? The league's adjusted to him. And is it age? I don't think so. I think he's smart enough to figure out ways. We've even seen him open up, cheat a little bit to get the barrel to the ball on an elevated ball. Like, he knows how to do it.
Yeah, you made a point on Blair and Barker, though, that maybe needs to be restated. And that is, it's as much as Justin Turner has made a career out of being a late bloomer and made a fair amount of money being a late bloomer.
Yeah.
And won a World Series ring being a late bloomer. As much as he has done that, it might be a little bit of a reach to expect a repeat of 2024?
Yep.
2023 this year. That doesn't mean he can't be a productive player. I mean, he's not costing them. He's not having a detrimental effect in anything, but maybe it's a little much to expect that.
It gets back to that when a guy like Vogelbach has a good game and gets 3 hits and hits a home run and he's not hitting, then that sort of is the reason why, right? When you're in win mode and there's urgency everywhere. I mean, we've heard it the last couple of days that you're playing the hot hand.
Though. It's urgency mixed with patience.
It is unless you lose 2 out of 3 to the White Sox, and it ain't that anymore. No. So, I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to put the best lineup on the field. And, to the caller's point, I think it's a combination of a couple of things, right? Obviously, your bat's going to get slower the older you get. I mean, it's human nature that those things are going to happen. And now you have to be smarter with your at-bats, right? When you do get a good pitch to hit in your zone, you got to be real honed in on everything working the right way. And right now, it's sort of escalated into, he got sick. I mean, I'm sure that sort of made it slower. He couldn't work as much as he wanted to work in the cage. He's trying to sort of overcompensate when he does get in the batter's box on certain pitches, certain locations, because he thinks he's got to get him out of there. He's got to change their mind on how they're trying to get him out. So it's a combination of a bunch of things. And I'm sure he's going to get out of this because he is a very smart guy. He'll mechanically figure it out. It's just right now, everybody's wanting him to do it right now, and they want him to go 4 for 4 with 3 homers, and sometimes that's a hard thing to do.
9-3, the Blue Jays have beaten the Chicago White Sox. The first game of a 3-game series. Game 2 goes tomorrow. A reminder for those of you who watch us or listen to us on Blair and Barker that we are moving to 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and Sportsnet. What?
Yeah.
So, again, 4 to 6 tomorrow on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and Sportsnet. Julia in Kleinberg sent us I love Kleinberg, by the way. Nice little place. It's a great place. A nice little place. Sign Danny Jansen now. Well, there you go. Julia in Kleinberg. Straight straight to the point. Danny Jansen's a free agent. I mean, if I'm Danny Jansen, you know, I've had a career marked by injuries.
Yeah.
I am a catcher. This is probably going to be my big payday.
No question.
If the Jays haven't signed me by now, I'm certainly not going to cut them a hometown discount.
No, I'm not.
Listen, we're all about Danny Jansen. You want to, Ross and Mark, you want to sign Danny Jansen right now? Have at it. I mean, we'll hold the news conference in here. Because we're all about Danny Jansen. But at this point, if I'm Danny, I got to think about it.
Yeah, look, I don't think it's going to cost you a ton either. You know, what would be the number? I mean, it's if he's what's he making now? Five, a little over 5 and some change. So you figure if you give him $6 a year for 3 years, that's okay. So that's 18. I mean, that's a good, decent number for a catcher who can call a good game, is a good blocker. You know,
it's a decent team number. If I'm a catcher,
I'm not sure that he's going to get any more of that on the open market. I mean, he can try, but that's the point I think you're trying to make. Is he's been hurt a lot. Don't play a ton.
How'd you like to see Danny Jansen swing at Fenway Park?
Yeah, look,
for 81 games a year at Fenway.
It's just you know, you sort of know what makes Danny tick. You know what doesn't make Danny tick. You know how to keep sort of Danny on the field, which might be the most important part out of all of that. Well, I mean, they're doing they're giving it the old college stride.
And also, a lot of Danny's injuries are not wearing padding in his hands and that. Like, it's not like Danny Jansen's injuries have been the result of some cataclysmic misread by the training
point is
staff.
He plays he don't play 70 games a year, which is not enough, right? So who knows we don't even know if they haven't had conversations already of trying to re-sign him. So look, I think if you're Danny, you don't. I mean,
my
understanding is get greedy. I think that's the thing you got to make sure you remember if you're his representative and you're Danny. Like what is the number? How do you know what the number is for a guy that plays 65 games a year?
Well, 60, but
that's the thing, right?
Now what are you talking about? You're talking about possibly marketing a guy. Think about this. This is a guy now who, he's established his offensive credentials. All of a sudden now you're marketing Danny Jansen as a power hitter who can catch for you. Maybe he's not your on a contending team or a championship team. Maybe he's not the everyday catcher. Maybe he doesn't have to be the everyday catcher. Is there someone willing to give him, I don't know, if you're Danny Jansen, give him a multi-year contract, $9 million a year, $10 million a year with some numbers that allow him, if he catches a certain number of games, to vest the option here. I mean, it's if I'm Danny Jansen, there's a lot of ways.
Yeah, the last 2 years he's played 72 games and 86 games. What's the number, right? Again, we have no idea. They may have had conversations already. We have no idea how this is went. So it'd be intriguing to see how they handle this. And they don't. It's not like they have a plethora of other good catchers who can hit homers at the minor league level. So they don't grow on trees.
They did have a catcher a couple of years ago.
Be nice. We all know that, but it's they don't anymore. So
and that is the other issue, something we didn't mention for the Blue Jays. What do you have in the system that's ready to come up? Because Alejandro Kirk is not catching 5 of 7.
Not offensively anymore.
He's just not.
He's not. Yeah.
So if you don't sign Danny Jansen, you're going to be looking to either trade or sign Danny Jansen.
Yeah.
And look, he's an organizational guy. I mean, just Danny Jansen's as much a Blue Jay as anybody, maybe more so than anybody in that uniform.
It ain't going to cost you a ton, and it would make total sense.
I still don't know, though. Catcher, I mean,
it ain't going. He don't play enough to be asking for a ton.
He hasn't so far.
Yeah. What would make you think he's going to?
Well, if Danny Jansen hits 25 home runs, I mean, again, I'm looking at a guy who can catch DH. For me,
he's going to make some money, but what would that number be?
That's 416-413-3959. And, of course, the market depends. The market dictates that as well. The Blue Jays beating the Chicago White Sox 9-3. Game 2 of the series goes tomorrow. Game 3 is on Wednesday. Then it's off to Detroit. Then they got Chicago again.
8-2. Next 10, I'm telling you right now. Like they're one win closer to 8.
8-2 is
so you got to win 7 more out of the next 9 games. Yeah. Like this is the time. It's go time.
And if you're
the White Sox never a good team, Jeff.
The last time the Jays won a series is they're not. April 19th to 21st against the Padres. That was when the Jays were in the middle of winning 7 of 10 games and had won 4 in a row. Ed in Halifax, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Is it possible that Vladdy could have been this contact hitter the whole time, and he just needed someone to speak some sense into him to not go for the long ball all the time? And we hear so much about Barker's struggles in baseball, but Barker, can you tell me about the first game you got called up in Louisville? I think it was a good one. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Ed.
Wait, he's asking me the first time I got called up to AAA or the big leagues?
I guess getting called up in Louisville for the first time because you broke big league spring training with the Brewers.
Yeah, when Gary Allison called me twice and then I hung up on him because I thought he was kidding.
Yeah,
I thought somebody was playing a prank on me. Yeah, that didn't go very well. Like I'd hung up on him one time. It was because it was in Norfolk. I think we were in, and I had a pretty good game and I was on the bus, and people were ragging on me. Like, that's how you did it. Like, I was a young kid, and we had older guys. AAA was an older thing. That's where you put all the old guys, right, in AAA. So I was getting, poked at, and he called me, and I hung up on him. And he called me back. I hung up on him again. He called me back and said, Slick. And I knew when he called me Slick that it was him. And he said, don't ever do that again, and you're going to the big leagues. And I was like, sir, I'm so sorry. So that was my story.
They didn't bring you into the office and have the cameras like they do now with every prospect?
It was like 2:30 in the morning or something. I think somebody got hurt.
They couldn't find you. The true story is 2:30 in the morning. They couldn't find you.
It's nothing to do with Norfolk. It's the minor leagues. I can't afford to go out.
I don't know. There is a place I know in Norfolk that
you've never been to Norfolk.
I have so been to Norfolk.
You're a big leaguer, Jeff.
There's a naval base.
You're a big leaguer.
No. There's a naval base there.
Everybody knows that.
There's a naval base there.
That's like you can read
about that. There's a place. It's called Skippers. Skippers.
Yeah.
It is. Okay. It's a place called Skippers.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a place in Norfolk called Skippers.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
a
tough word for me to say.
I don't know how to answer the thing about the Vladdy being a contact guy.
I don't want him to be. I want him to hit home runs.
Yeah, I don't know. He's not a real home run hitter. He hits the ball so hard it don't stay in the yard. Like, he's not a home run hitter. He's a line drive hitter who hits it so hard it just doesn't stay in the yard. I just don't know exactly what the approach is for him, right? It's. And I know he's moving around the batter's box a little bit, which frees him up to not swing at things he doesn't want to swing at, right? When's the last time he grounded out at third base? You guys remember that? It's kind of nice to not watch that, ain't it? It's funny how when you're getting a little freer and easier at the plate because you move around the batter's box, how that can free things up. You just don't sort of want him to stop being this guy, right? I think the more balls he hits hard on the line, the better chance he's going to have of hitting the ball hard. So, I think that's just continue to do what he's doing and hopefully he starts running into some things and gain some confidence with point of contact. The more he makes contact out in front of his front leg, the better chance he's going to have pull side of hitting that ball in the air and the ball go hopefully where everybody wants it to go.
It is Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and Sportsnet. Here's what you're going to do if you want to take part. You're going to call up the back leg line, 416-413-3959. You're going to hear Barker's voice. You're going to leave a message, name and location, or you can text us at 590-590. Again, name and location. Jay from Aylmer, he reached out via text. Amazing game by Bo. Is he back? Time will tell, but he's looking like himself again.
I'm going to say yes to that. I'm going to say I think lately he's gotten better pitches to hit. Again, I know he thinks he can hit, anything from the ear to the shoe top. Maybe he can.
A lot of times he can.
Yeah, but I think when you're struggling, you sort of got to get a better pitch to hit. Like, you got to get something in the middle of the zone that you could stay in the big part of the field with. And when he's hitting balls left center and right center and can keep the out and around ball fair, that he hit in his first at bat, which was the sweeper that was going away from him, and it was on the black, and that will tell you he's on time, right? The front foot's getting down on time, and everything is sort of working the way it's supposed to work, right? The leg is going up when it's supposed to go up. The hand is wrapping when it's supposed to wrap. The elbow is dropping when it's supposed to drop. The barrel is in the zone as long as it's supposed to be in the zone, because everything's working from the ground up. And for me, that starts with getting a better pitch to hit. And I just mentioned that to you, right? Slider middle, a little up. Sinker middle, down. Sinker middle was the pitch single that he hit up the middle. The sweeper was the lucky double that he got. But the point being was most of those balls were in the middle of the zone. Could be north and south, but for the most part, they're in the middle. If he stays there with that stuff, because he can hit. And to answer your question, for me, absolutely.
Yeah, it looked a lot more like the Bo we've been expecting to see. And you've made this point often on this show and on Blair and Barker as well. I'm looking at George Springer and all the talk in spring training. Going to pull the ball more. Going to pull the ball more. Going to pull the ball more. Mm-hmm. Right? We talked about Bo. Want to hit for more power, want to be a run producer. He wants to get paid. Bo wants to get paid. Mm-hmm. And
he doesn't.
Kevin Kiermaier. What did Kevin Kiermaier say? Kevin Kiermaier, got to hit for more power because I want to get paid too. Didn't like the offers I had in the offseason.
Didn't have any offers.
Didn't have any. Thought I'd get more than I did. I didn't. And yet, I see Kevin Kiermaier lately, and Buck and Dan made this point. He's hitting over 300 in his last, I don't know, however many games. We saw him have a real good at bat against a tough lefty today. If Kiermaier and Bichette just do what you did for me last year.
Yeah, it's not the easiest thing to do, right?
No, but
one guy's getting no offers whatsoever, and the other guy's expected to carry a team. It's not the easiest thing to do.
Isn't the key though? Okay,
it's not easy.
But isn't the key to kind of do what you did last year and build off it, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, we just talked about Justin Turner having career years later in his career. It's not the easiest thing to do.
Danny Jansen is addressing the media.
Nice.
Waking up the team, so it was a lot of fun today. As a catcher, after catching the first inning, is it a little bit weird to kind of rush in and have to take a plate appearance that quickly? A little different. I guess so. When you hit, anywhere from 9 or 7 or 5 even, but it's not that much of a difference to not get used to it, But it was cool.
Offensively, things have been going really well for you this season. What's been clicking for you to kind of allow you to have that success?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of what I learned about myself, just a little bit of freedom and to kind of sticking to my strengths and having an approach and sticking to it.
Danny, it seemed like there was an effort to jump on Fetty early in counts. Was that kind of what you guys were hoping to do there? Get first thing you could see and start swinging?
Yeah, he's a good pitcher. He's got a lot of different pitches. So I think speaking of my at bat with the guy at third base, I was looking for something over the heart of the plate or something up a little bit that I can just get in the air. But I think when guys got good stuff, you want to just try to it might be one pitch that you get. So definitely being ready to go.
Berrios was just saying that he really kind of liked the way you guys have been playing the last 8 games or so. Do you guys feel like you're turning a little bit of a corner? What do you think of the recent run?
Yeah, for sure. We've been playing tight games. Definitely some tough ones recent, but tight games. And everybody's got each other's backs. So we're going out there and we're fighting and competing every day. So every day trying to win. So I can second that. I like the way we've been playing.
And from an approach perspective, swing decisions, kind of things, what did you see from the lineup today that you like guys to bottle up and continue to use in the coming days?
Yeah, I think it's looking for your zone, hunting your pitch, hunting at maybe a spot of the plate, and getting your swing off, getting your ace swing off. I think that this team, we definitely can fight with the best one with 2 strikes, and but definitely picking our spots and letting it eat kind of early.
Just curious how you found out today that you're hitting second, or has this been a discussion that this might happen?
No, I just found out today, yeah. I was eating breakfast.
What was your reaction?
Yeah, it was just like I said earlier, any spot I'm in, I'm ready to go.
What was working for Berrios today?
He's throwing a lot of strikes, for sure. He's getting in the zone. definitely mixing all of his pitches in. He's a machine. He's going to come out there and attack. He's got all sorts of pitches, so it was fun being with him and competing with him.
Ken, does the manager talk to you about the feature of hitting in the 2-hole, or is that something day-to-day for you?
No, yeah, I haven't heard anything, but like I said, wherever I am, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to go out there and do everything I can to help the team.
Did you find it that you were being pitched any differently at all with Vlad behind you?
I didn't even think about it really that much. But obviously Vladdy's been hot, and he's one of the best hitters in the game too. So yeah, I don't know if that was a thing, but I didn't really think about it that way. Just trying to do what I can.
What were you having for breakfast?
Sometimes pancakes.
Maple syrup.
Thank you. Thanks. No problem.
Danny Jansen coming off a big game for the Blue Jays today, hitting in the number 2 spot as the Jays beat the Chicago White Sox 9-3, the first of 3 games. We're going to take a break and come back. It's Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, the Sportsnet Radio Network, and Sportsnet.
Which Looney Dogger are you? The fork and knifer, splatterer, condiment queen, or Big Dipper? This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. You will have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the stadium. Then show the world you're a Looney Dog style. Because whether you're the mustard maven or ketchup king, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. So don't miss out on this deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's, every Tuesday home game.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year